Dire team's turn to pick. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Disruptor.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban.
Admiral Kunkka.
Another
Dire
draw,
team's
so
turn
let's
to
go.
ban.
Game 1 getting underway.
Radiant team ban.
So Felt playing on the Radiant side, Team
Dire
Magnus
team
will
ban.
be here out on the Dire. And we are going to be having, of course, Team Magnus being the team that won the first time around, will be making sure that they want to get that double win. So they want to play with this aggressive tempo, Mars Disruptor to open things up. A very deep statement of intent from them. But Felt had the first overall pick, Weaver.
10
And usually
seconds
when we
remaining.
see that, we are slowly but surely starting to set up for some big carry
5
hero
seconds
to
remaining.
hard carry the game, take all the farm on the map and just be backed up by 4 heroes
Radiant
around
team
it.
ban.
Yeah, it's interesting to me to look at the first bans as well. Certain heroes get first banned in some series and then completely ignore it in others. Like the Skyrat last game or last series was first banned almost every single game and now just gets completely
10
ignored.
seconds
And instead
remaining.
we see, I guess, more normal heroes,
5
I
seconds
suppose.
remaining.
The Weaver, Kunkka, Mice and Disruptor.
Dire team ban.
It is very interesting to me, and I would love to get another interview with some players and ask them about that.
I mean, another
Maybe one day.
actually. See, I mean, Lena last game was banned, I think, twice, but always in the very edge of the draft. Now it's starting at the very beginning. She's taken out. I think Monkey King was
10
completely
seconds
ignored
remaining.
last series, which right now, I'll be honest, is very atypical given how versatile that
5
hero
seconds
is.
remaining.
Viper, of course, we didn't see make an appearance at all, so certainly we're going to be seeing different ideas about how to conduct yourself in the game emerging from both of these teams here. And speaking of different ideas as well, this Kunkka hero that they've grabbed for themselves on Felt, we have been seeing lately this hero being primarily played in the safe lane role, but will they shift him back towards the mid or the off lane to have a little bit more versatility, or is it just hard locked in
Dire
that we're going to
team's
have
turn
the
to pick.
Weaver Kunkka lane right now?
There is always a chance, but I think it's a good 83% that we're gonna see it as a carry, because it lanes pretty decently against Mice as well. And a lot of heroes have trouble against Mice, but Kunkka's just kind of tanky, and he can also dish back some
10
harassment.
seconds remaining.
Did you pick 83%
5
just
seconds
because you
remaining.
leave 17% left over space for a speed breaker perhaps?
So it's guaranteed that it doesn't happen. No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, sadly, the prediction's been done. What can we do about this? Team Magnus.
We'll see,
Radiant
we'll
team's
see.
turn to pick.
Shadow Demon. I love this, right? When you're
Oh.
playing against a hero like Weaver, when you know the opponent team is going to have some degree of save, firstly, nice to have a save for yourself, but having Demonic Purge, I feel like that spell is so good right now. And it's not just good in the abstract. In this game, you're playing into Kunkka. You know
10
that Coco
seconds
Run will be
remaining.
an effect that you need to deal with. Now suddenly, the protection that you might gain from the
5
Ghost Shape
seconds
no
remaining.
longer going to be applicable for the hero that does eat the R from the Shadow Demon.
I feel like Shadow Demon is just another one of those heroes that has everything. He has save, he has a BKB piercing disable, he has a lot of damage in the early game, he can stack, he can clear stacks. It's just such a nice hero to have. And against Kunkka as well, you see someone get X'd, just disrupt them and they're gonna be fine.
Here at the back. I mean, it's also set up with Mars as well. This is like a rough game to try and flee from. Felt are going to always be getting chased down. Very difficult to move away. They've got decent lanes from Magnus. So really want to see how Felt will respond to this. Haven't seen their secondary support just yet. What is available in the pool right now? Ogre's been banned, so that's not going to be coming up. Nyx has been banned, sadly. Snapfire is still available, which we've seen practically every game. What else is out here? I would like something a bit beefier, right? That can soak up some damage. Potentially they pick a Baron. That way, even if you don't have access to the Kokoram Ghost Ship, at the very least, if a hero does get hit with the Demonic Purge, you can delay them getting brought down for a little bit of time.
True, but Abaddon Weaver is a terrible support duo. Because both of these heroes can't really do anything. They completely rely on their core. So they just pick up a Rubik. And it's slightly higher tempo, but it's still going to be hard for the two of these heroes to really make plays. While Team Magnus, Shadow Demon, Disruptor, these two heroes together can kill a mid laner when they both have their
10
ultis.
seconds remaining.
I feel like the effectiveness of these Felt supports is going to
5 seconds
step
remaining.
behind what Team Magnus is bringing to bear. I mean, later on in the game, once Weaver does get the axe, you do have that save. You know, Rubik can buy like shard or something and you do a double save with telekinesis. But for the most part, yeah, Team Magnus have an easier time playing with these supports. Now though, Felt will have to reveal a core hero. I think they probably fulfill the off-lane role here. So Tide is still available. You can go for Magnus, you can go for Beastmaster. They don't have much time to decide either. They have to pick right now. That is... Oh, okay. I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I, mostly because it doesn't look very good to me right now. OD really struggles when there is a lot of early disables. We spoke about it before, how reliant he is on BKB while not wanting to buy BKB.
5
because
seconds
it
remaining.
doesn't really give any of the things that he wants, aside from magic immunity. At the same time, they didn't have last pick, so they just wanted a good mid hero, I suppose. We'll see how this pans out, but for now, Felt's lineup, I'm not fully convinced that this is gonna work, because their supports don't really rotate. OD kinda wants to farm. We'll see. They need a big playmaker on Felt. The Team Magnus, they're most likely going to be picking their carry now. Let's see what is still left in the pool.
Radiant team's turn to ban.
Go for this swap. Save the carry matchup for last. So they know what the mid matchup is going to be. They're going to tackle with the OD, with the Queen of Pain. Making sure that, yeah, their harass potential will be there, but she can find herself farm in the lane. Burst damage for later on in the game. More teamfight access. You buy an Orchid as well. You were already talking about how it's a requirement for OD
5
to buy the
seconds
BKB.
remaining.
Doesn't always want to have to do it, but in the time period between where he doesn't have BKB and Queen of
Dire
Pain
team's
does
turned
have
ban.
Orchid, the game is just way too difficult to play. So certainly going to see that emerge. And it doesn't feel like there's that much catch for the Queen of Pain to be terrified of, right? The Astral sends you away, so you're not really scared of that. It's only really the Conquer, but you have the save from Shadow Demon as well to help you out and ensure that it's not going to be that big of a deal
10
when the
seconds
Conquer
remaining.
does catch you inside the X combo.
Yeah, for sure.
5 seconds
Looks like
remaining.
Team Magnus has lots of bases covered right now. Felt gonna be banning the Lifestealer, because Lifestealer is one of the better heroes against both Kunkka and OD. So he has built-in magic immunity against the OD, and just the percentage HP steal and magic immunity is great against Kunkka. Team Magnus banning the PA, interesting. Means that they expect the Kunkka to be a flex pick after all.
10
Or it
seconds
could be an
remaining.
offlane PA as well, you never know.
5
I would
dire
like to
turn
say
ban.
that I could never imagine that, but after the previous series, the word never and imagine will never be in the same sentence again when it comes to Dota 2. Seen a lot of wild things today, but still have some options left for the safe lane, of course, for the side of Team Magnus. They can pick
10
Who's
seconds
still in,
remaining.
TB still in, Sven doesn't seem great, Razor, whatever.
5 seconds remaining.
What do you actually, speaking of these safe lane heroes, what do you make of the new way that people have been playing SF in the safe lane matchups rather than putting him in the mid lane with the Razor's build?
I think it's interesting to watch. It could be pretty good this game, because you tend to go for a relatively early BKB. Kunkka is not going to be able to man-fight you, OD is not going to be able to man-fight you, and Rubik and Weaver don't really touch a hero with a BKB at like 20 minutes and 250 right-click
Radiant
damage.
team's turn to pick.
So it actually doesn't seem too bad.
felt.
I mean, there is a reason why people are picking it up now. It's actually strong. It's not just memes. Not everyone thinks the same way that I do. Sometimes it's about other things than memes.
10 seconds remain. Fire team's turn to pick.
Oh, felt. Okay, this is not a meme pick whatsoever. Getting yourself the Wraith King here, some big beefy boy. So Kunkka indeed is being flexed into the off lane here. Very far forward lineup with this Wraith King. At the very least helps them out with some of the physical damage they were lacking beforehand. If they do run into a
10
BKB
seconds
target,
remaining.
the build-up of the Wraith King can be possible to help deal with a magic immune hero.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
there are options, but one of the things I'm always concerned about when I see Wraith King, I always prefer Wraith King when you know what the enemy carry is going to be, because now you do have the potential where they just try to exploit that hero by itself. I feel like they just need a hero that buys BKB and is good against Wraith King, and then Bob's your uncle, you've got the dub.
PL is still in as well. It wasn't very good last game, but this game it looks pretty spicy.
Drow ring. Choose your hero.
Go for Drow instead. Interesting. There isn't too much jump on Felt. The one thing they would have is maybe a blink on the Wraith King. But it is very interesting because Wraith King, if he gets behind and he gets ran at before he has like level 2 or 3 ulti, he can crumble under pressure. And Team Magnus has a really strong lineup for fighting early. And OD needs a lot of space as well. You spoke about Weaver not being that great before he gets his Aghanims. Rubik needs a blink. So there is gonna be a lot of aggression from Team Magnus, and a lot of it is gonna depend on whether or not this OD gets a good start. Because if OD can be aggressive, that's gonna buy a lot of time for the Wraith King to come online. But if he gets demolished in lane, I don't see Wraith King doing much better necessarily either.
Yeah, it does feel like the responsibility is just sitting on Solji in that situation. Like you mentioned, he falls behind, can't create space, but nobody on the team can create space for him because they went for this offlane Kunkka. Not the hero that comes to mind first and foremost when you think of an offlaner who's going to be opening up the map for his team. Definitely a hero that soaks up more resources than he gives back. So Felt were reliant on the laning phase. Sadly, they're not going into easy lanes to play into, but it's not that bad. It could be worse for them. But I don't know. I feel like Felt is definitely going to have a hard time in this opening first game. I feel that Team Magnus, the strat that they put together for themselves, should be able to put them over the finish line for this first game. But we shall see. We shall see. Getting into the game, we commence with the tie. Magnus versus Felt. It's going to be an interesting best of 3. And I'm definitely favoring Team Magnus game 1. Who you got? Who's your money on?
Definitely same story for me. The Kunkka can be very good in the offlane, but he tends to be good against the melee heroes. And Drow is a lot of things, according to things I've seen on the internet, but not a melee hero.
Well, maybe you haven't been in my pubs where the Drow Rangers believe that Battle Fury works. I'm just kidding. I've seen it before though. I've been griefed by a Drow board Battle Fury before. It was not a great time. Wasn't a great game.
I can
One of the
imagine.
reasons. Like, games like that is why I don't like playing support past 5 anymore these days. But we're back in it. Early contestation of bounties.
30
Not gonna
seconds to
happen.
battle.
Sorry, Wingblade. No early chaos for you. It'd be super standard. We already have wards plopped out. They were plopped out under cover of smoke as well. Unless, oh my gosh, okay. This is the most we'll get out of the excitement, is hoping that he finds the sentry, but that's it.
Hey Snare, I know one thing for sure this game, and that is that Disruptor is not gonna die of a vitamin C deficiency. Because my goodness, this man has a lot of mangoes.
This ain't no
He
snowball
is
fight.
prepared to ward off the scurvy in this particular game. Jeez, Disruptor. 5 mangoes. Trap Nest on the Shadow Demon has 3. I think these supports are ready to do some harass here, Wingblade. These lanes are going to be entertaining at best for these Fault heroes on the side lanes, but terrible and very frustrating at worst. We'll see how they fare here. But more importantly, this is the lane that we have to focus on. LG on this OD versus the Mark Queen of Pain. Who's going to come out ahead here, Wingblade? What does this matchup look like?
It is gonna be a lot of range creep securing. Like the OD has the level 1 Astral picked up to secure the range creep. Mike on the Quap has his Scream of Pain to secure his range creep. It's just gonna be a lot of farming, and then at some point these heroes are gonna realize, hey, wait, we have harassment now. And then we're gonna see a lot of harassment. But at that point, Mark is already gonna have his bottle, and Soldier is probably already gonna have his Ring of Health. But the early stages of this lane, I would say, are a Quap favorite.
So he needs to be able to put that pressure out. But, why they picked this hero for her. Open up space on the map as well. See down bottom, something really funny just happened. Steel Borko almost died. Got disrupted and almost right-clicked down by his own illusions from the Weaver. Let's have a quick pause. Gives us time to get the lay of the land as we go to the top lane as well. Jack on the Straw Ranger. Like we mentioned, Kunkka definitely not that great against all these range heroes. He's decent enough to secure his own CS thanks to the Tidebringer cleave, but Straw finds her farm. And if they find a good situation to throw out some harass, there is very meager, but it's possible that kills can happen, but can also happen in both directions. And now this Disruptor in a bad place up, but there's no telekinesis just yet. He dodges the torrent like a mouse. Might still die though. Fairy Fire keeps him alive, and he's not gonna get brought down. He's fine. Everything's okay.
Not really the ideal situation for this Disruptor though, already having to use his last self. There is a bit of regen coming in the career, but just 3 tangos. Not the dream start for sure.
A bit of regen and nothing more. Just a little bit. Down bottom. The Smosh definitely having himself a good time so far, getting decent amount of CS. Feels like this is a lane where with the help of Trapnest, they should be able to secure a lot of farm for the Smosh. Potential doesn't seem like it's always going to be on, but they're going to put the Swarm Bugs out onto him. How quickly can they destroy these? Steel Borko might decide to run forward, tempted by how low this Mars is getting. Very dangerous. He'll still make the jump, diving the tower. Will he be able to find the kill? There's going to be usage of the heals, but it's not enough. Steel Borko still able to pick up the kill. It actually goes the way of this Raid King. Throwing in the skelly moves from afar. Just enough damage to secure the kill, and that's a great way to start the lane right now for Felt.
Yep. We can see OD starting to struggle a little bit in terms of regen, but in terms of CS, he's having a pretty great time.
Well here, level 4, he's 10 and 6 versus the 7 and 5. Always feels great when you have effectively the equivalent amount of denies that your opponent has lost hits. Super situation. Oh, and the
That
tower
tends to be a good sign.
What a fuck. They're very happy about this. That's not a good sign though, Wingblade. Zor on this Kunkka being zoned away from his lane right now and having no easy and viable path back into it. There are some tangos, but there's no big salve, so he has to play super carefully, at least until the return of this Rubik, who TP'd out, so he has to make the long trek back to this top lane. That's going to allow a lot more free farm for Jack on the Drow.
And that is the dream start for a Drow. The one way you can shut down a Drow is to shut her down early. Because if she gets the items, she is terrifying. When she gets a BKB, I have no idea how they're gonna stop her.
With great difficulty. The answer on that one. I also have no idea what they need to do at that point. Need to prevent her from getting there. Right now though.
Ooh, OD moving in.
Here, OD might find a kill. Gets the banish off after he gets glimpsed back, and Wake Me Up running in to just quickly kill the courier. The juke attempts for the Disruptor certainly will not happen, so just gonna have a heads up kill. Wake Me Up might die on the 4th tick of the Thunder Strike, and he will. Loses his life, but
Denied
not give up
himself.
any experience though.
He was next to Roche, but he didn't wanna give Roche the pleasure.
Dire have fortified their
Man,
structures.
what if Roche got too much experience and he's too strong to kill later? But keep
Good
him
point.
for now. Game bottom. They're going another engagement onto Trap Nest. They really want the Shadow Demon. Drag back with the spear onto Common. So Felt can't make the full chase happen. What's a scary situation, and Trap Nest definitely feeling like this is gonna happen to him more times than not in this game. Whenever there's Swarm Bugs on him, he's not gonna feel very happy about his life. In the top lane though, Zor also not feeling super happy about the situation, but there's no glimpse available anymore. Had already been committed by our Disruptor. This will... Right now, they're okay with this. Sun Team Magnus, sure you're not getting the kills on the top lane, but you're resisting getting killed down bottom, and crucially, you're getting CS in all parts of the map but middle. but I don't think that you were needing the Queen of Pain to be the one that has the best start to the game. It was primarily going to be about the two side laners, and they're doing it right now in Blade.
This mid lane has been really intense. Usually you see the two mid laners leading the CS for their respective teams, but they're kind of both suffering. The tables have turned. No more fun for mid players.
Players have to struggle, they have to suffer. Just like this Kunko had to suffer in the top lane, getting dragged back. Oh, nice. Counter to the glimpse. X marks the spot. Able to get himself back immediately at Trap Nest. Unfortunately, not fast enough without boot or a wind place to be able to show up in time and render assistance. They're just going to be able to escape there. Good play from the Kunka. Also got allies streaming in, so won't be muscled out completely from this lane. With Trapness being over this side of the map though, it does mean that this Mars is going to have to play a lot more carefully and a lot more closely to the tier 1 tower. That opens up space now in this bottom lane for the Raid King. He's starting to dip into this jungle and accelerate his timing towards the Omelette. Is this Omelette blink game? I think. What? Top? They want Jack. They almost got him. A lot of damage dished out. They get the X mark the spot. Trapness shows up, finds the save. They need to get these kills first before the Jack comes back. And they found the one. Will they find the other? Zor now finding that he's gone way too far forward. Trapness with a double kill. Okay, beautiful rotation. We were talking about how they need to shut down Jack as early as possible. They make the attempt. They end up getting punished heavily for it though.
Really nice sidestep at the last moment by Jack as well. Because that Tidebringer was so close to killing him.
So far, it's been only 5 kills in this early game, but they've been very tense lanes. Mid lane has been quite hotly contested between the OD and the Quap, but contestation is largely going in favor of the OD. A lot more net worth at this point, given how tightly this has been at this point, but obviously this can all change with basically a single rotation. Meme Hammer is now available for Solji, so we could easily see heroes come to his aid or he go to other heroes' aid. Either way, the danger levels of this OD have increased dramatically, and the farm potential as well. Gonna clear out a pretty big stack right now in the jungle with this Meteor Hammer and some Arcane Orb hits.
Gets a Fairy Trinket as well. That's the perfect item to get. At this stage, it's gonna be very hard for Quap to stay in lane once OD returns. It's also gonna be hard for Disruptor.
Disruptor, yep, it's very hard. Oh, easy now, you're dead. Mark though, looking for revenge, jumping forward to find Wake Me Up and Sonic Wave. You know, it's still just 1-1 support trade, but one kill was a lot flashier than the other. Mark very happy to just drop down the ultimate straight away to make sure that he finishes off the Rubik.
Pretty nice trade. But so far, 1k lead for Felt. Mostly the Raid King having a really good time.
So for comfort here, do we get the normal build up that we get from Raid Kings nowadays? Omelette, Blink, BKB, Deso. Like just one of, like 3 of those 4 items mentioned, obviously starting with the Omelette. Or is he gonna do something funky, heading back to the old days, like going for Radiance or something? Highly doubtful against the Drow Ranger, but I really would like to see him.
There was cracks in Dire's top tower?
Yeah, I think that is very good. Going for a Midas is an option as well, but he just needs to get on top of the Drow, because he is the one answer they have to Jack.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Dragon Lance just arriving now, whilst his team happily trying to posture around the tier 1 to clear it out.
Dire's middle tower
shows up, they drop a sentry right on his face. They don't have the static storm, but they do have the Spear of Mars. Doesn't connect onto anything, but they know he doesn't have time lapse, so they'll find the kill regardless. Picked up quite quickly. They also make this rotation middle with this Disruptor just in case Mark needed some assistance, but they replace him down bottom with Jack, who's going to be happy to supply some additional right-click damage, has access to the marksmanship, can try and fight onto the tier 1 tower, whilst the rest of the lineup is middle trying to take a kill. But that was actually a key and a clutch disruption, or astral imprisonment rather. The Disruptor had his hands up for the glimpse. Doesn't end up happening though, and everything's okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is no more.
Tier 1 mid is gonna stay alive, and Magnus is gonna get the tier 1 bottom without any contest really. At the same time, Comfort has finished his armlet. So he is looking very scary right now.
But with the straight king, already put the point into this resurrection. Not gonna bother waiting with the pocket tick. The reincarnation is up. Be able to use the rest of the points in the palm that he needs for himself. This vision control that we've seen around the map has seconds here as Disruptor about to die. Well, the good thing is Disruptor, because I was about to talk about him and say that whenever we see Disruptor games being played out, we would like to lay out these advanced wards so you can use them aggressively. But thus far, we've seen some aggressive wards being pointed out like this one in the jungle, but not just yet any successful moves with the Disruptor to utilize that glimpse in a positive way. There's a bit of a frustration when you pick this hero, and thus far he's just functioned as a regular old support, nothing really special. But it is still early days, a lot can still happen as this game builds further.
They really need the level 6s on the supports for Team Magnus. Shadow Demon is gonna get it now, Disrupted too. Let's see what they can do here.
Out of the Astral Imprisonment, they still do have access to this glimpse. They don't miss hit the silence on the guards, however. Spirit Blast tossed back off the arena, and they do get some damage out of the door. They drag him back now with the glimpse, and Sonic Wave will clean him up. Does come at the cost of Trapnet's life. They don't care about this. They're happy, and they got 3 heroes caught inside a kinetic field. No follow-up, however. Mark just jumped in and got meme hammered. They'll be able to take out the Queen of Flame. Dropping the Sonic Wave was not going to be enough earlier on in the fight, because without it, you have no counterplay against Sanity's Eclipse. So the burst emerges from the OD. 2 heroes fall quickly thereafter.
Ooh, OD?
And those, oh no, OD picks up a regen rune. Will Astral themselves to try and heal up as much as possible, but unfortunately the damage with these 2 supports. You mentioned that if they have their ultimates, they can kill a core hero, and that is definitely going to be the case. They don't even need them at that point. They find the 1 kill. Jack also in onto Zor. He tried to help his OD. Won't be in too much trouble though, because once Rubik arrives, everybody else decides, yeah, let's back off. We had been fade bolted, we're taking less damage, we're dealing less damage. But Rubik also went too far forward, so he's the one that pays the price. That was a very chaotic fight and a very long one here. A lot happened in that situation.
Gold for my
It looks like it slightly favors Felt now. Actually, with those final 2 kills, it does favor Team Magnus. But yeah, that was all over the place. Like 7 ultis used, lots of heroes dying. And a bit of disrespect from the Quap as well, blinking into the Meteor Hammer. It really does feel terrible to play Quap in the late early game like this with just 1 point in blink.
Potentially in that fight might have been relying on Trapnest to be able to save him with the disruption, but sadly it's not going to be the case. Mark did get brought down there. So now we look towards these item builds for Felt. They're going for this Hand of Midas to follow up on this Meteor Hammer. It has to be BKB after this for Solji. At least I hope it's going to be BKB for him. Might opt for a blink at some point to also help close the gap with his Wraith King, but this game without BKB is already demonstrated to be quite scary for the Solji. So should definitely do what he can to ameliorate that situation. At the same time, we see Zor not gonna go for this, just wants Heaven's Halberd. Given that there's only 1 major right clicker on the other side of Team Magnus, this feels like it can be a super value item for this game.
Yeah, for sure. It's looking like this is starting to become the meta for OD. Meme Hammer into Midas, into either Blink or BKB. Comfort. Gonna get disrupted here. No Demonic Purge coming out just yet. It looks like the Raid King is gonna be going for the Desolator first.
But they're taking a fight right now. The boat's gonna crash in onto the Shadow Demon, but they're inside the arena, and Static Storm drop down onto the Kunkka and the Wraith King. They don't have enough damage to kill either. Comfort, armlet toggling, gonna be able to survive quite a lot. The drag back on with the clips, they bring the Kunkka into the fray, but it's gonna cost them the life of the Smog potentially. He gets brought back into a death knell. At the same time, Sonic Wave flew through Zor, but not gonna be enough to get the kill. Just toss this Smog back. no way to do anything, and Telekinesis got the save. Damage was enough for them to bring down Mars, and despite a lot of spells being used in this mid lane, all they really have to commit from Felt is the life of the Wraith King, and they just get the pure reward of grabbing the Mars and the Shadow Demon at the end of the day.
Team Magnus dealt like the same damage as Team Felt, but they got 0 kills. Just so much tankiness on the side from Felt. They have a hood on Kunkka, they have the boat of course, and 2 lives on Wraith King is quite a big deal, because he already has close to 2000 HP, which is a lot to get through in a fight.
I think it'll probably be a little bit easier once they get the Queen of Pain Orchid as well. Still a little bit away from being able to pick that one up. It does feel like Felt are a little bit too free in the middle of these engagements. So Team Magnus can help fix that issue as they lose their tier 1 tower. Also, we didn't really speak about the Magnus's item build. He opted in this game to just go for Soul Ring directly into getting the BKB then Blink. So we have no armlet from him, but we will have always consistent initiation potential and team fight potential. And I guess that because they have this Drow in the game, and it's more important that they have heroes in front of him rather than that they have the full jump, at least until Drow has farm. I suppose this is fine,
Looks
right?
like Dire fortified their structures.
Bounty!
Yeah, he doesn't really need to initiate, I guess. He just needs to make sure that he counter-initiates when they jump on his Drow.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Disruptor does get the deny.
Always nice. Always feels good. Tower's at 6 HP. He's the one that cleans it up. And now we'll start to try and get as many stacks as possible on these Ancients for the Drow Rangers benefit a little bit later. We have already dewarded any potential sentries that might be blocking these camps, so they are ready to get this acceleration going for the Drow. Right now she's just sitting with this Dragon Lance, getting into a Manta style, slowly but surely getting to a point where she needs to be, but also finding their items. Hopefully they find enough items to start playing on the map before that critical moment where Jack is able to pick up a BKB and starts to feel really dominant in these engagements.
It's still quite a ways away though. And Comfort, he is ready to rumble. Has his Deso, has his Armlet, now working towards a Blink, but this is a very strong point for a Wraith King. He's at a point where he can like 2-shot supports, and it's 16 minutes into the game.
Definitely gonna have to make them work for it on the side of Team Magnus for this W, playing against this crazy strong Comfort right now. Getting closer towards level 15 as well will certainly make their pushing prowess a bit better too, because they are in a bit of a bind when it comes to forcing out these structures as we've seen before. We have a
Radiant's
smoke
middle
out,
tower is under attack.
he and Wake Me Up want to get on the map. Have Meme Hammer available. Wake Me Up doesn't have a critical item, but he does have the Stolen Spear of Mars, so a Telekinesis initiation would definitely be enough changes able to kill most targets if they can find them. There is a Drow nearby, but sadly there's also a Disruptor right there to break a smoke, so it's unlikely that you're going to be able to make that rotation successful.
And Drow is gonna start pulling ahead of the Wraith King. This Drow does farm very fast with her, I wanna say new multi-shot ability, but it's been in the game for quite a while now.
It's now old hats. Come across this kill onto the Weaver, they commit the arena for this as well, and they also get a nice ultimate out of the Zor. Static Storm will be there as well. There will be no boat, there will be no easy way to save himself. He's shot back in the face with the Spear of Mars. Lacks onto the wall. Easy kill there for Team Magnus. They're finally going to be able to set up for this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And the Mars did the right thing, committed the God's Rebuke so that Rubik, if he steals something, doesn't get the very good spell. Gets the one that's super mediocre on this hero.
If he wants to, he can just pogo Bulwark after every spell cast. That's a bit of a bother.
That's too much effort. I'd rather force the Rubik to have to walk into a
Dire's
base
top
and use
tower
God's
is under
Rebuke.
attack.
That's Comfort going up to try and help the team defend the tier 1. They're not going to be able to do so, and the jump in from the Mars, not going to commit the arena. It doesn't have it available, but with these illusions from Jack, they have the right click damage to take the first life from Comfort. Caught inside the kinetic field. I'm not gonna push their luck and try to force the next fight because Zoe has returned on this Kunkka, so a lot easier to just retreat. The like pretty long cooldown on the reincarnation for comfort. I doubt they'll try and find him again, but they have revealed that it is possible to kill him. And the advantages that he has for himself, despite being the network leader on the map. Certainly can't play too aggressively at this point. Still need to watch his positioning lest he gets caught by very, very bothersome spells from the side of Team Magnus.
Drow is so nice because Wraith Fire Blast is maybe the easiest spell to dodge with a Manta. You can just press it at any moment during the time where it's in the air and it's gonna dodge.
Is it easier than Unstable Concoction?
Yeah, because the hitbox for Concoction can be a little bit weird if it's thrown at a long range.
Now I'm just trying to think of like other spells that are super easy to just train. Yeah, Ray Fire Blast might be the easiest, and missed Gust from the Drow Ranger, but still hits a big hit onto Wake Me Up. Marksmanship helps with the additional damage, and there come the multi-shot arrows very fast.
Ooh, OD.
Also chasing
no
the
BKB yet.
They find him with the Static Storm. There's no BKB. There's no help. We'll try to delay this as long as possible with the Astral Imprisonment, but it's only a delay. Practically a false promise. And not only, oh man, this is actually just oppressive. They don't only kill the OD, they jump in and take out the chicken as well. Kind of rude, but okay. Team Magnus showing their strength on the map right now.
Corp is gonna have a BKB soon as well. Did they spot the Weaver? Looks like they did, but they're not gonna find him. Steel Boyko is gonna be completely fine.
Dire Snow
Be
fortified
very
their
close towards
structures.
finishing this Aghanim Scepter.
Radiant's bottom tower is
1,000
under
gold away
attack.
in total. Meantime
I
though,
would really love to see Drow Ranger buying an E-Blade.
this game. We'll talk about that in a second, but Comfort just jumps in onto the Disruptor. They find revenge for the death on the OD, and now they're going in the arena, beautifully committed onto 2. What will they get out of this? Sonic Wave emerges to get the first life out of this Wraith King, but Jack is so low, and they've already used the save, and Wraith King with the blink directly on the Drow does his job in the fight. Takes out the enemy carry. Everybody else is trying to TP out. Astral Imprisonment will prevent Mars from being able to do that. He gets the right click down, and at the same time they found Mark in the trees. How did that happen, Wingblade?
Wake Me Up just no-scoped him with the spear. I want to see if we can get a replay on that one, because that was beautiful.
What?
Dire's top tower
Stolen spear to get a snipe onto Mark while he's trying to get out of the TP. That's crazy. And there's the tip. Wow, okay, he's like, thanks for the spear, buddy. That allowed me to get the kill. Alright, let's see this on the replay. Will we get the vision? So there's one spear already being very useful. Putting him toward the corner, and you see what you were talking about, that once Wraith King gets on top of Drow, it's just, she has to flee immediately. There's nothing that she can do in this situation. And we just saw the spear right off camera. We don't get the clear vision of it, but we do get to see the kill happening at the end. Everybody else getting cleaned up. And middle, we're right back into the action. Toss back onto Zor. The Kunkka, Static Storm's up right now. There will be a Meme Hammer drop down onto the Mars arena, not up again for another 5 seconds. It's gonna be 5 seconds too many. As the Mars gets taken out. Belts right now just feeling so strong on the map. 6k gold lead for them, and they are just keeping this chain going. They will not stop. Torrents crosses up Trapness right after the disruption, ostensibly saves them, but it just makes it easier for them to surround him. And Belt, they just don't want to stop, bounding from kill to kill to kill to kill. Not gonna give this Drow any time to get the farm that she needs to be a big damage dealer on the map.
Just look at the graphs. That is insane. I haven't seen a graph jump up like that in a while.
Yep.
Looked to be going very well for Magnus, and then suddenly boom. That's now Roche as well, and Magnus really has no way to contest this, and Bob still working towards the BKB. Drow Ranger now working towards the BKB as well, but still over 1,000 gold away.
There was a good reason. Radiant's top tower has looked better.
This might be one of the most impactful, like, 3 minutes that we've seen from a team in a very long time. Bound from one fight bottom to a big fight middle into a Roshan. from not just an even game, like you mentioned, they were losing earlier on. It was even on gold, but experience and the win probability both were trending in favor of Team Magnus. Now everything is switched up, and look how big everybody is. BKB now out for the Raid King in tandem with his Armlet, Desol Blink. They've got Meme Hammer BKB for OD. They
he
come
has
across
BKB on 100. Oh, he survives.
Right. Some Nico reaction time from him right there. Gets himself away. He's completely safe. He's fine. No problem.
And Comfort is farming so aggressively. Felt has almost complete map control.
Who can fight him on the map right now? 1.5k HP. Still has a double life. He's about to crack a level 20 as well. So this is a very scary looking Comfort. And he actually just jumps forward onto Trapness. You said how many hits? Okay, he's not going to be able to 3-shot Trapness, but definitely would have died if he didn't have that Glimmer Cape available. Marksmanship or the usage of these multi-shot arrows, or no, Draw Ranger definitely would not have enough damage to dissuade Raid King from completing that chase. But he had no reveal, so forced to just back himself away in that situation.
At the same time, Mark is pressuring tier 3s though.
They're not gonna come. He's sticking around. They're delaying the take on the tier 2 tower. We have a jump forward though by Solji. They want to take this 4v5 fight. The disruption will come at the same time as the Astro, but they still manage to break down Disruptor. Drop the status storm on his head, but OD already had the BKB active. Now we do come out with the arena. Spear of Boss does get stolen by Wake Me Up. OD trying to save himself with this Astral imprisonment. Will be able to do so by blinking out the safety. They did buy back on the Disruptor. Mark also returned to the side of the fight, so he couldn't keep the push going bottom. Sadly, they don't find what they need. Great Fire Block. Manta dodged by Jack, who's trying to get himself away right now. Will be able to do so, walking up the hill. Spear of Mark connects directly onto this Weaver. Gets saved by the Astral Imprisonment. Mark might not be so lucky though, gets jumped on by Comfort. But there's going to be the disruption, keeping him alive. They take out the first life from Comfort. Solji came into the fight, dropped down the sanities. They do take away the life, but it's just the Aegis life. Jack somehow still alive with the BKB timing. Mark doesn't have that though. So his BKB expired a bit too soon, so he ends up losing his life in the fight. Great Fire Blast thrown onto the Shadow Feet Demon on the high ground as they take out the Mars on the low. Trying to run away, trying to get out with the Glimmer Cape. Does manage it, but everybody else on Team Magnus just having so many struggles with this fight. Because they have this Kunkka here, to get additional health, mana, whatever kind of regen you need, even if you need a new item, very easy for Felt to be able to achieve. And that fight felt like, well, you know, excuse the pun, but it really did feel like Felt have gone from that one engagement where it was, okay, we're very dominant in this game, to now being in a position where to lose, we the ones that have to start making mistakes at this point.
Yeah, even with the BKBs, it still feels like a lot of these Team Magnus heroes are very squishy. The reason for that is probably because they are very squishy. Like they have almost a full lineup of like squishy ranged heroes. The one notable exception being Mars, and I guess Drow Ranger has 1900 HP as well, which isn't too bad. Consider it, with these blinks and tanky heroes on Felt, it doesn't look like Magnus can really create the distance for their heroes to really be able to do anything. And Drow Ranger is going to be going for a Butterfly. I would still prefer the E-Blade. Because no one can really damage you if you E-Blade yourself. Or one of your teammates for that matter, because it's not like a Rubik with his Fate Bolt is suddenly gonna kill core heroes. Okay, we see the team fight. The Spear is gonna miss. Slightly mistimed with the BKB. But even then, OD still had the Aegis, so it wouldn't have been too bad.
Look what happens when they get onto Jack. Actually, just any of these heroes. Whenever they can get this Raid King of Comfort directly onto you, even the ostensibly tanky Mark on the Mars doesn't really have a solution for this kind of damage, and Jack especially doesn't have a solution for what happens if they just run at him. really was lucky to be able to stay alive. And again, from the Rubik, another Spear of Mars onto Pop that gets her killed. At this point, Wake Me Up just has to be like, keep giving me the spell. I like it. It's very useful for me and my team. Once I get this Yule Scepter, I already have the setup with Blink Spear into Telekinesis, but now I can use Yule Scepter to set you up for the Spear, Telekinesis to set you up for a different spell in the fight. Might even have situations where this Wraithfire Blast connects onto this Draw Ranger if the Rubik can find the correct lift in the fight.
I'm sensing a pattern.
Like, we've seen bigger impacts from spears from Rubik than we have from Mice. Oh, so I was gonna say a similar thing because I see TeamSpeak problems very often and it just feels like a very 2012 thing to do.
Listen, right? Use Discord on almost a daily basis, and there are times where I'm actually much happier to be in. I think there's no app that I use as often as Discord that I despise as much as I do. TeamSpeak.
I haven't had too much problems.
I will allow Team Magnus to be old school, y'all. You know, be old school. Keep to the old ways. You know, type in greet us good 99999 and win the game.
I mean, it does give you an excuse for tactical pauses all the time.
How you see the situation, and bottom, you might see them kill Solji here. Will he be able to get away? Demonic Purge was out. They just need one more hit. So low on the HP. It's not going to be coming towards them. Instead, Comfort is the one that jumps forward, looking for hits of his own. Jack, BKB TP out will happen, but only barely. Comfort did quite a lot there. Almost was able to dish out some critical damage, but end up just being able to mount the escape. He did get the kill onto Rubik though, so it's something for the side of Team Magnus. And it's a BKB committal from the Solji OD, so one more charge getting wasted away. Good times right now for the side of Team Magnus, but amazing escape for this OD at the end.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
He was at like 19 HP. At those times you're really happy you still have a stick in your inventory.
Will have a stick of his own as well. Will he trigger it? He's under vision, so he can't get rid of the Swarm Bug, even with the Glimmer Cape, so he ends up losing his life. So we're trying to drag Mark back into the fray, but X-Mark will not work through this BKB, and Comfort takes away his first life, but okay. What's the option now? They know he has BKB. They're going in. He's usage of the multi-shot. Arena has him propped down as well, and Comfort just wants to turn his attention back towards the Shadow Demon, but the BKB is finished now. He gets time-lapse. That time-lapse could put him in a bad place. Fortunately, the rest of Team Magnus do not feel confident enough to stay in this fight without BKBs of their own. Jaxwan has just returned though on the Draw Ranger, but still a dangerous proposition to go back in on this. This is very frustrating. Despite seeing that on paper it is possible to kill this Wraith King, it is actually capable of doing it. They can dish out that damage. The rest of Felt just have so many saves, so many ways to frustrate your attempt to make that jump that ultimately he just ends up surviving every single time. To say nothing of how Solji's been annoying them with his own survival plays. Jumps forward, Comfort. Oh, not the Chapness. They want to find this fight. Nice. Weaver time-lapse back onto the OD, keeping him alive. They almost got this kill onto the Mod, but the spear from Rubik this time around goes really awry for them, and they've already lost Zor. Wasn't able to stay with the rest of his team on the high ground. He gets caught up on low. Dragged back with the glimpse onto Comfort. He does still have the second life. Marcus committed the Sonic Wave. There's Static Storm. They're waiting on the second life. Dust will be there as well. Spear of Mars will not connect. BKB will be there, and a BKB now of Mars' own to dodge out the Wraithfire Blast. So everybody's glowing yellow. Everybody decides to go Super Saiyan. And very little casualties at the end of this fight. Despite a million spells used, it's only really the Kunkka that dies here.
I have to say, that was a beautiful save from Rubik. It was a shame that it was on the wrong team, but the way he saved Miles was magnificent.
Save you'll see all day. If I was Mars, I would have tipped them. I would have been like, hey man, Spear's a good spell, right? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, take the shards.
Kill the living and smash the stone.
Mice now gonna be working towards a Heaven's Howlet, which is gonna be very nice. Oh, but Mark, it's taken down. That's a whoop.
He's not available. They don't have Orchid up at the time. Comfort's just like, well, okay. Sort of like a gift, you know, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Ends up taking a quick kill. And we get to see, I mean, a lot of these fights, we haven't seen the Great King being allowed to just sit on one target and hit them, but there we have it. How many? 4 hits. Wow. Okay. On your mid laner. That's great. That always feels fun to die that quickly on this hero.
Yeah, poor Mike.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I feel like even the AC is probably not gonna make him very tanky, but he needs something.
Fortunately for him, the ACs emerged first on Comfort. So long before he's gonna have the ability to beat himself up, Comfort will be just dragging him down even further. More of this minus armor and more attack speed as well. And what? Alright, this is ridiculous. Comfort just found an Elven Tunic. Gotta love it. So Great King even more dangerous at this point in time. And actually that does bring up what neutral items do we have that are going to allow Team Magnus to come back into the game. Doesn't seem like they had anything super consequential picked up from this round. There's a Mind Breaker that they've just found for themselves. But looking at these heroes on the other side, Mind Breaker does not really feel all that strong. Too many BKBs, too much tankiness. Wraith King's already like about to hit 25, so none of it matters having Mind Breaker. But if they find the smoke gank here, Windblade, they could potentially still turn this game around and put themselves back in position. They need to go into the pit. Just being solo siege right now and felt not yet received.
This is a difficult fight. They can't focus the Wraith King because there is 2 kinds of saves. Static Storm is wasted. He tried to force the BKBs, but just ended up giving away a big cooldown.
There's absolutely no reason to use any of your BKBs in that situation. Like you said, they're aware that they don't have that great of lockdown. And now here comes Comfort. Almost 3-shotting the Disruptor. Gets the shots here. Not onto that hero, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. He ends up getting brought down. OD finishes off the Roshan. The Torrent Storm from Zore everywhere. Meantime, Jack isolated on this far edge of the fight. Will he die to the right clicks? Yes, he will. BKB TP out will not be successful. The Spear of Mars, stolen by Wake Me Up, will catch out on the Trap Nest. Will be dragged back in. They get the Astral Imprisonment, they get the Mean Hammer out, they get the damage, they get the team fight win. 4 heroes will fall. They get their Aegis on top of it. And now nothing is preventing them from turning that also into getting a lane of racks.
This Wraith King is just unstoppable. Both the OD and Weaver kind of exist to facilitate this Wraith King. He is so incredibly strong. He's gonna be 6 slaughtered.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is
Some
under
other damage just
attack.
from the sheer right clicks. 5.5k damage came out from that last fight alone.
Dire's middle tower is
Kind of amazing considering how much time he spent
Dire's middle
disrupted,
barracks
being trying to be dragged back, chasing down targets. So each individual hit certainly doing a number on the Team Magnus lineup. Now they've finished taking this lane of racks in middle. They're not done just yet, Wingblade. They still have this Aegis. They still feel hella strong on all these heroes. Why not? Let's go for this push. Make it happen easily. Also very quickly now pick up this Aghanim shot. So no mana reincarnation cost for Comfort. Not that it was a problem at all this game. He's died a grand total of 0 times. So they've not found any success on punching through the reincarnation at all.
Yeah, and with the cleave and the swift blink, he clears wave extremely fast.
So what's the counterplay right now for Team Magnus? I know they're smoking out on the map right now, but I don't feel this one smoke will be good enough to really put them back in this game. It's actually an open question if they even find this, so that's a commit static throw for him. I mean, okay, now we just push, I guess. But thankfully for them, they don't actually have buyback on this Weaver at the moment, so by the time he returns to the game, they will have Static Storm back again. But what is the counterplay? Do they do that 100 more times? Is it an item that they can pick up which really turns the game around for them? Or do they just have to hope that they can hold the high ground until Jack gets indomitably farmed? But it feels like the longer this game goes, the less likely that that point in time will arrive because of how far ahead Comfort is right now.
Yeah, they need to somehow kite the Wraith King, because he isn't super tanky. He doesn't even have 3k HP. So it's okay, now he levels up and he does have 3k HP with the armlet, but still. If they can keep finding pickoffs like this and not die for it, they could be in an okay position. It is just very, very difficult because they need to play perfectly. This is not perfect.
Not dying, right? And sadly, that condition is not met. I knew it. I was about to say, if I wake me up, I'm 100% tipping. Yeah, man. Came all the way into our jungle to kill me. How did that work out? It's a very, very sad scenario. Oof, that is painful. Does have buyback, but you never want to have to commit the buyback, and you're always really sad about losing your life in exchange for the opposing support. It doesn't really help them in their prospects on the map, right? Because Comfort will just happily run by himself looking for Jack. Oh my gosh, Disruptor. 2 shots and you're down to 90 HP. My goodness.
I love how Comfort wanted to go for the Drow Ranger and then accidentally found a Disruptor and almost 3-shot him. That's just a Raid King experience.
He's got Basher now as well, here Windblade. So, situations where we've seen heroes trying to TP out in his face. Ford was a worry of, can they have enough HP to survive the damage he's outputting, but now there's no question about that. He has more than enough attack speed that the bash through TP is always going to be pretty much guaranteed. And you know, don't even need to wait for that point because Minotaur's this Aegis on him. Aegis about to expire in 30 seconds on OD. They're on the higher ground. They're sieging. They want the second lane of barracks for themselves, or the third lane rather, to get the 4 megas and complete the game at home.
Dyer's bottom tower has shattered.
Pike, picked up by the Drow. That's the lock option, but that means she's bought out. No buyback available for her. They do drag back the OD with the Slims. Doesn't want to use the BKB just yet because he still has the allied time-lapse. Gets thrown out quickly. Wake Me Up finally fails to steal Spear of Moss. Only gets the Bulwark. He's starting to bother with having to do the toggles. He's realized how dangerous the spell can be in the wrong hands.
He just is gone. Let's see if Felt wants to keep going. They should be able to with the time lapse. You can just blink up to the high ground, hit a few times, and then get time lapsed back. Is he willing to commit?
Back. Mars is going to be able to blink away. Had a disruption on the Comfort, so now it's only losing and beating him down. It's actually not an insignificant amount of damage as OD blinks forward to eviscerate the Disruptor. Will be forced into buying back as 2 heroes, both Mark and Trap Nest, put inside a torrent. They just want to defend his melee rack. Static Storm drop down onto the Kunka, but the Aghanim shot lift on the Rubik will save him. Comfort jumps forward to get the dieback out onto the Disruptor. In the meantime, just standing his ground, hitting the strongest as the BKB from Salty trying to run down Trap Nest. They get that kill. Sonic Wave coming in from Mark allows them to kill the Weaver, but that's all they get because Mark dies immediately afterwards. Jack and the Smalls no longer have access to BKB, so how on earth do they fight Comfort, who just activated one of his own, gets himself a triple kill by running down the Drow Ranger, who dies without buyback. She fought out for the Hurricane Pike, and now Mars left behind all alone, will not be able to mount the defense by himself, but at least help them set up for a kill onto Wake Me Up. You know, that's gonna satisfy Mars at the very least, but doesn't satisfy anybody else on the team. As they lose the fight, they lose the rank, they lose the game. GG is called. Felt taking game number 1. This best of 3 set is looking good for them. They are looking like they are not gonna allow themselves to go 0-2 in their opening games. They're gonna make this one a contest here.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's turn to pick.
Weaver.
10 seconds left. Decided? 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
Lane.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Admiral Conker.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Void incarnate.
Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Sky Wrath Mage.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Tide Hunter.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
Dusk.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Warlord.
Dire team ban. Radiant team's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
Terrorblade.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Imba
Choose your
spirit.
hero. Prepare for battle.
Lies failure.
Just to be clear, if I call you mate, I don't mean it
Я
literally.
безумно хочу пиццу.
This pleases me to no end. Oh, they're gonna hate me for this.
"30 seconds to battle." Let's get moving! First blood!
Sinner and saint bleed alike. myself.
Look at that. Radiant's courier just got killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
My sword so brief.
Back to special for you.
A golden thread.
Never refuse gold given.
Your soul.
Radiant structures have been snow fortified. Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long. Someone better help Dire's middle tower. Dire have fortified their structures. Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
The whole bunch of bunches.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack!
Sucked out with the tide. A wise blade takes a fool's life.
It is mine.
Someone better help Dire's middle tower!
Nightbot cast upon. Unfortunate.
Let the fighting recommence! Radiant's middle tower is under attack!
Keep going. I mean, Sky is certainly dead. Question is there gonna be a return kill?
Solji just picked up the Orbital Corrosion now, right? So would love to be able to show up directly on top of the fight with the CP, move into the engagement, catch them off guard, and ensure that they have the bonus damage necessary to figure situations out with the damage for the kill, especially on the side hunter, who's so low. Like a double Remnant forward with Flame Guard active would probably kill him right now. And you know that there's no threat from Ravage. You know that this Tusk is completely out of mana. Even if Mark is nearby, it's unlikely that he kills you so quickly that the move isn't worth it. So we'll see if he decides to take that risk. I think that's the calculation they're thinking about right now. You know, this is one of those sad situations where a pause happens at the wrong moment because it might allow a team to change what was going to happen. When they're like, we don't really, we've done the math, you know, we have time to quickly get our calculators out, punch in the numbers and see if this is a worthwhile play to make. See what they decide once the unpause happens here.
Mike does have a double damage rune, and DD on Void Spirit early in the game is huge. Because you get at least 2 guaranteed right clicks in with the Astral Steps. And that is a lot of damage. Speaking about a lot of damage, Weaver is going for an Orchid. Or at least that's what he has in his quick buy.
I suppose Orchid is magnificent against the Ember Spirit. And let's see, good against Ember Spirit. It's an easy way to run to the back of the fight and cancel freeze from Steel Boko. But that's about it. Like, I don't know, I still feel like the build that we've been seeing from these Weavers just either earn into the full Spirit Vessel into Axe or just earn into Axe directly. It just seems so good. Like, I can't believe I'm saying in a game against Spirits, I would still prefer that over having an available silence for themselves.
Yeah, and using Aghanim's time-lapse on someone also cancels the Fiend's Grip. And it's a lot safer than having to run in.
So, we'll see if somebody on his team operative for this decision. They'll be like, hey, Baji, what is
I mean,
this?
he hasn't really committed yet. He just has 2 Sage's masks. That could be any number of items, right? It could be a...
Let's hope that's the case. I mean, they could use an Urn, right? Urn N2 Medallion as well. Some negative armor for Roshan. They don't have... Like, the only Rosh take they have is raw damage from this team. You could also buy the Medallion from Tuskar as well. Just keep him buying Urn into the full Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah,
Hope this was also give him time to discuss with his team.
maybe they decided this after the pause. I'm not sure. We'll see the result of this skirmish now. So how many heroes are gonna die? I want your prediction.
2. Wait, let's see. Yeah, 2. Wake Me Up is gonna die. Tide Hunter is gonna die. Mark is gonna do a ton of damage to Zore as well as to the Ember, but they won't be able to get the kill. Then Ember's gonna double Remnant forward. Oh no, only has 1 Remnant. Ooh, that gets interesting now. If there were 3 Remnants up, I'd say you double Remnant forward and then you just get out with the 3rd, but there's only 1 up. Actually, this might turn into 3 deaths. This might turn into 3 deaths. Ember might die here as well. I think Ember dies, yeah. So I'm gonna say 3 deaths. What do you say? We've got 2 seconds.
Alright, I was gonna say 3 deaths as well. But I feel like Tide is gonna survive. Somehow.
What? 300.
I mean, he has...
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Resume.
That's the first death. On the Scarab's mate. Sorry.
Isn't going to last long.
Find anything here. Okay, Remnant back. Apologies, wait for this one. The Torrent out. They kill the Time Hunters. Death number 2. Give us our 3rd one, y'all. Mark being dragged back by the X marks the spot. Of course, he has to dissimulate, so there's no threat in this situation. Trap Nest also shows up. No, activate the DD, Mark. You need to kill somebody. We need this prediction. They get onto Zore with the Kunka. Torrent will not be able to save it, but potentially the Ghost Ship will. And the kill does come. It goes on the Tuskar. And our prediction is correct. We're just incorrect about exactly which heroes. But 3 do end up falling down in this bottom lane.
Radiant's middle
No,
tower
don't kill Weaver. That is wrong again.
Oh, Trap Nest. Oh. Time-lapse just came available for the Weaver, but unable to get it off inside the Searing Chains and inside the Ancient Seal of Silence. No opportunity for survival. We were so close, Wingblade. We were so close. We were right on the cusp, but
under
we're
attack.
one, fam. What's
So
up?
close to greatness. And Weaver did commit for the Orchid. So we're in for some big plays or very small plays, depending on how it goes. But I do like innovation.
Yeah, the rationale for this definitely is available. It's not like it's a just straight up bad item. It just so happens that there's broken items, but still for the situation and the circumstances can be very good. Solji, one of the heroes they want to apply the Orchid on.
Cracks in Dire's top tower?
Place to be, so we'll quickly Remnant out. And how is the skirmish still going? Zore goes in the Torrent. There's gonna be a Tidebringer cleave out onto the Tide Hunter.
Middle tower
But
isn't going to
we
last
recognize
long.
that maybe this is not a good place to stay farming after we clear out that camp. Trap
did that
Nest
courier ever
also
do
going to
to
be allowed to
anyone?
scurry on away thanks to this invis. They don't have the reveal on the right side. He makes the correct read. Now all these heroes are busy. Jack my opinion, the winner of this fray because he didn't get involved at all. Just got to sit here hitting creeps in the triangle.
Yeah, he has his Yasha and Falcon Blade, and he's having a great time here. Of course, the troll is gonna start catching up eventually once he gets his Battle Fury, but that's still 1300 gold away. Quick time lapse.
Fine trapness, but still Boko doesn't have 6, doesn't have the movement speed either to catch up, so.
Do finally have their level 6 on the Skyra. See if they can set something up, because Jack is positioned very aggressively here. Gonna be in a lot of trouble, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's just let's just say aggression, optimism, interchangeable words for the positioning we just saw from him, and ends up getting wasted away. Tusk will come find some very good revenge. Here in the top lane, rolling in with the snowball. Might be able to pick up Solji. Doesn't have a remnant out just yet. Will be forced to throw one. Is a Ravage, but they definitely don't want to commit it unless there's a bit more follow-up, and Mark is not nearby. So they trade 1 for 1, but given how big the Terrorblade is, not just in terms of net worth, but in importance for the Team Magnus lineup, it almost feels like you'd have to lose 3 heroes before it's not worth it to kill the Terrorblade.
Yeah, exactly. He is the win condition for Magnus. So killing him is a huge deal. At the same time, Comfort is farming. Not very fast just yet due to lack of Battle Fury, but he is farming. Oh, and there's the level 6 for Bane. Waited for the creeps, and he's gonna get this.
Well, now he's almost got Battle Fury. That was nice, the bonus gold for himself. And on the other side, they're trying to catch out this Ember Spirit if he has a remnant. Not gonna commit the Ravage just yet. They still snowball up onto the high ground. Dropping down the Mystic Flare. Here comes the Ravage. Solji gets caught by it. Do they have enough damage to kill him? You bet they do. Mark shows up to bring him down. We'll be able to find a double kill to wake me up as well. Came in from a far distance, but definitely worth the trip. Pick up the bonus gold off those heroes. Kill his arch brother, the nemesis from the mid lane. Now, the unfortunate part is that they had to commit the Ravage to make this happen, so Felt can still play on the map, but they have numerical number overload, so they're still gonna go directly onto the Skunka and Zoro. Bye! Bye, Zoro! Bye! Oh well,
He is
not bye.
very tanky.
He says bye to them
Leading on
instead.
Dire's top tower.
He has a Vanguard, an Helm of Iron Will, and now the Admiral's Rum buff as well. It's insane. This hero is so ridiculously tanky.
Before he even finishes his Armlet Wingblade, like, still gonna pick that item up, get even stronger. Straight into BKB thereafter. Do you agree with... I think we need the triple BKBs from everybody, right? On the side of Felt. There is no one who can afford to skip the item at all.
Everyone needs to always buy a BKB. I feel like that's the essence of Dota.
I wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I was talking to Neff this morning when we were casting the China DPC games. I was telling him that any game where somebody doesn't have a BKB, if I'm playing that pub, I'm yelling at somebody. Doesn't really matter. Even if it's a bad BKB game, it's like buy BKB and regret it, then don't buy it. Rather that than you just don't have it and say, oh snap, I died to a spell I should have been able to prevent from happening.
Oh, bounty!
Yep.
Smoke here.
Aside from the screaming part. Don't scream at your teammates.
Dominating.
I mean, you know what I mean by screaming at my teammates. I'm not gonna open com and start yelling at them. It's like, hey man, he's by BKB. Hey man, he's by BKB. Hey man. On BKB. I'm specifically saying hey man because it's only male players that I found who are reluctant to buy the BKB that they need in the game. Top lane. Solji gonna get jumped on here. The Aether Remnant catches him. Oh no! Ember Spirit. The last time around Jack was here, he found himself getting brought down. This time he gets the counter kill. They still will be able to find the combo with the Fiend's Grip into right clicks from Comfort. But still really, really good pickup on the Ember. Removed from that side of the map. Closer to the Maelstrom, he gets sure. But that death is certainly gonna hurt him right now.
Yule's gonna be up for the Void Spirit as well. Okay, Kunkka has the armlet. How quick is this kill gonna be?
I thought the earlier kill was gonna happen. Now he has Coco Rum buff. This is How quick the kill is gonna be? Never. That's how long it's gonna take them. An eternal amount of time to find Zore. They drag back the tusk with the X marks the spot. They find that kill. Soji is happy to distract them and confuse them in the midst of the fight. But now he's gonna get dragged in. Aether Remnant out from the Yule Scepter. They get the kill, not even requiring the Ravage. A little bit too much flare coming in from our Ember Spirit, and he ends up paying the price. They can't kill Kunkka, but, you know, they get the bigger prize in the Ember Spirit because that's a back-to-back death here, Wingblade.
I was so confused how the Ember was silenced, but the Orchid is up for the Weaver. It's paying off, Snare.
That's what they built it, fam. That's exactly the hero they built it for.
I mean, I don't think the Ember was expecting the enemy Weaver to have an Orchid before he even finishes his Maelstrom. So credit where credit is due.
Capness certainly showing up right now for his team. Orchid Silence really helped out, forcing this Ember Spirit to get brought down and forcing the immediate BKB after this Maelstrom. Can be no delay at that point. Speaking of delays, Nightmare will delay the Tusk in his tracks, allowing the rest of Phelps to just chase him down. Here come the right clicks. And although this TB is getting so far ahead, although Solji is having some rough times and getting brought down, this Troll Warlord has had a superb last several minutes. It seems like that trend is just continuing, just like the trend of silences onto Ember is continuing. They try to help him out with the grip, but it's not going to be enough. Mark just jumps in, looking for Steel Vocal. Brain Sap will be there, keep him alive for a second longer, but
Radiant's courier just got
only a
killed.
second. Immediately afterwards, he gets taken down. Back with the double kill. Good a game that the Troll is having. Jack is starting to have an even better one.
Yeah, poor Ember. He just keeps dying. One day he'll get his Maelstrom, I'm sure.
Okay, you know when he's gonna get the Maelstrom? He's gonna get the Maelstrom around the same time that they can pull off the gank. This is Kunkka, sorry. As a
Little
of this Orchid in this
death
replay.
compilation. Poor Solji.
We'd love to see it. Shout out production making this happen. Oof. It's something. Steel Boko did what he could. Ultimately, what he could do is not much. Solji finally has this Maelstrom. Long last, it did happen. Need to cue that BKB immediately, fam. The way things have been going, can't be Mantle, can't be Yule, it's gotta be the BKB.
Built anyway. But yeah, this game he really needs it. BKB is up for comfort, so they could try to make something happen, because at this stage Troll is a lot stronger than TV.
Much more capable of fighting. He's going straight into the Satanic after finishing B. Of course, the Terrorblade is going to stop over for a Skadi, so there is some amelioration of the effect of the Satanic already being considered. However, he'll be so dangerous at that point. Certainly will feel like the most dangerous hero on the map. They smoke up on the side of Falk. They want to keep the map a little bit more open for themselves. This lull period definitely doesn't bode well when the enemy team is just farming with the TB. But at the same time, they don't have good vision right now. They're trying to make a jump. It be a bit dangerous, but they make it happen anyway. They'll isolate the first target in the top. Will they kill him quickly? No, they won't. There's a Ravage. Follows them up with the snowball. Already gotten the kill onto Solji. And Zore finally will die. It's a double kill for the Terrorblade. It took a while, but Kunkka will eventually tumble after all this tankiness. Now the path to Roshan lies wide open. Team Magnus, the sorter into the Roshan pit with not a care in the world. Big man's gonna go down without any contest, no complaints, and without buyback on Solji, he can't even attempt to come close to this pit right now.
And it drops so fast. Magnus has an insane Roche lineup. They have the minus armor from the Gush, the minus armor from the Swarm, the tag team, and then the insane physical damage from Terrorblade.
Alrighty, so now we are getting to that stage where it's TB game. Jack, Dean at this point.
They're beating on
Not
Dire's
too
top
far away,
tower.
sitting with this Aegis in tow. The D-Lance already available. Of course, we see from Felt they're doing their utmost on the rest of their heroes to try and put them in a position where they can help. Solji BKB is being built, the BKB for Zore is being built. Satanic for comfort, but it's a lot of defensive items that are emerging. Team Magnus will have several minutes with this Aegis and a few minutes
Not much
afterwards.
good's happening
Play
to
up with a
Radiant's
bit
bottom
more
tower.
tempo and aggression on the map. And how far is Mark from Aghanim Scepter? We just need the other 3 items. Okay, so pretty far
Radiant's
actually. I thought he was a
bottom
bit
tower's
closer
got
than me.
problems. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
But really wants this tower, but needs to be careful.
Dire's
Team
top
Magnus
tower
isn't
is
gonna
under
give this
attack.
away for free.
Let's see some... Probably a good idea to let this one go. No way, even if they did get the tower, that they'd be able to hold up that outpost for too long, so... People can understand why they're like, well, yeah, this is a dangerous situation. Steel Boko's still gonna sit around bottom though. Not laying out any rat trap wards just yet. Waiting, biding his time. And it looks like the whole team of Felt gonna come around this area
Look
to
at
bide
that.
their time.
Radiant's courier just got killed.
Roll back in, Steel Boko might find the grip once again, and he gets it out onto the Weaver, followed up by the Mystic Flare. Easy kill. There is buyback time lapse, but unlikely to utilize it. Maybe, actually, maybe not, because the entire lineup right now, Team Magnus, already starting to make their way to the tier 2 tower here.
Is Comfort finally gonna get this? Not quite.
Onto Soldier,
Meta is
our target. It keeps dying, but hey! This time he baits out the Ravage. Gets out at the last second with the Remnant. Alrighty. That is a change of pace for how the game's been going for Soldier for the last several minutes. Now without Ravage, it's Team Magnus that suddenly are feeling a little bit of pressure. They still have access though to this Aegis, and Jack has double damage, so he wants to come closer for this fight. Activates the meta. So flying forth from Zore. Won't crash onto anybody, but definitely open up enough space for them to retreat. Maybe except for Steel Bronco, gets snowballed upon. Somebody has to get left behind, and that's somebody today gonna be the Bane. Wait, whose smoke was that just went off around them?
I think it was one
Dire's
from
bottom
Tusk.
tower is under attack. Dire's snow fortified their structures.
I'm not... Yeah. Sometimes you just need to go for a smoke, apparently.
Dire's
Take the
bottom
edge off,
tower
man.
is
They need to
falling.
relax, get the smoke. So let's see. It was... That was the Tusk. You're right. Bane still has both of their smokes.
Dire's bottom
One top by
tower
the
is under
Tusk. So
attack.
quick little break to reward themselves for getting this nice kill and defending the tier 2 tower. And it's gonna run down both of these towers down bottom. It's gonna be a tier 2 taken as
Dire's
well.
bottom tower
Probably
always
deserve
did
another
get
smoke
short
break after
shrift.
this, boys. Group up, let's make it happen. Go somewhere else on the map, but everything's looking so flush for them. Maybe they wait for the next round of items, but there's no real item that they are very
Radiant's top
anxious
tower
about
has
picking up.
looked better.
Potentially just this Axe, but they're
bottom
doing
tower
well
is
enough
being
without it.
chipped away.
Mark will go top. Now he's going to be able to start a fight here. Comfort has some additional company coming in, and there's going to be Mark. Hate the Remnants out. Trapness finds the Orchid, but there is BKB on Troll. Does have the Morbid Mask, almost has Satanic. Difficult kill. So both him and Solji easily get themselves away from the top lane.
Gonna get the tier 1 as well. Not a great trade for Felt, but they'll take what they can get at this point. Ember is closing in on his BKB, and that's what he needs to be relevant.
Denied relevancy due to the lack of that item. Both spirits have actually been a little bit flat in terms of their progression on net worth. A bit of a harbinger of the times. What's going to be the case of this game where they're giving up everything to the physical damage dealer on their team? Zoe is taking some of it for the side of Felt, but now that he's got BKB, he just wants AC as the luxury item, but he's probably also accepting that his progression will be sacrificed at the altar of this troll to make him as big as humanly possible. Comfort now does have Satanic flying out as we speak. After
those
this, where do we
cracks in
go on
Dire's
the Troll
top
Warlord? It
tower?
feels like he needs a damage item now. So
Not
just
much
go
good's
Silver
happening
Edge,
to Radiant's
Daedalus,
bottom
Basher.
tower.
Which direction are we going?
Radiant structures are fortified. They're beating on
I
Dire's
mean,
top
going
tower.
something like Daedalus would be
Radiant's bottom
ideal, but
tower is under
I would be
Radiant's
very
bottom
afraid
tower
of
is
TB
falling.
going for a butterfly,
Dire's structures
so
are
MKB
fortified.
may be needed.
TV. with the crash of a boat into his face. He doesn't have a BKB. There's going to be the Mystic there as well. BKB activated by Comfort will not allow himself to get taken advantage of by the Ravage. And Solji there as well with the damage, with the Flame God, with the Sleight of Fist. Gets himself a double over both cores. And you know what the best feeling in the world? It's one thing to have BKB against Tidehunter. As we see them now catch out onto the Tusk as well. He's certainly gonna die. No escape for him gonna be possible here. But it's one thing to get BKB before you fight Tidehunter with Ravage. It's another thing to get BKB because you got a double kill on the Tidehunter after dodging the Ravage itself.
And Terrorblade did have a BKB, but it was still on the courier. So unfortunate for him. Oh, he felt ready for this fight, but he couldn't quite bring it home.
Radiant's
Poor
middle tower
TB.
shouldn't have to
Tried
take
so
this
hard.
abuse.
This is the second time today that we've seen that same situation happen to a Terrorblade, where right before a crucial fight, the BKB is flying in on the courier, but it arrives literally seconds too late and end up dying.
And that's another huge swing in the graph. Magnus is still favored to win this, I think. Because the TB does have the BKB, which is gonna solve a lot of issues. It's just a bit more difficult now that the Ember has his BKB as well, and Troll just got propelled towards his Basher.
Trapnest has just been griefing this team. From the Orchid plays to sticking around in the top lane. After his entire team's been routed, he solo takes the tier 3 tower. Oh, what a player. The Weaver not only gets that, but that secures enough gold for the Aghanim Scepter to be complete. So now we do have the super big save. Imagine he has that Axe before that fight, or if Jack has BKB, either one of those conditions are met, and they 100% win the engagement, but without them, things did change, but now they do have them, so they can start to set up for their next engagement with a little bit more careful planning. And it feels like the next engagement has to be around Roshan. If this big man goes the way of Felt, they're fully back in the game. But now, if Team Magnus want to stay ahead, they need to find a way of making sure that they do get the next Aegis for themselves.
Let's see, Roche could spawn at any moment. We could potentially see a big fight at the Roche. Because while Magnus probably has stronger team fight, if I were Felt, I wouldn't want to give Roche away for free. Because it's such a big deal to give it to the TB. We see a 4-man smoke now from Team Magnus. Let's see if they can find someone.
Sitting on the edge of the Roshan pit now. Tatum Quaid is needed to come in, break the smoke. Definitely would be happy to give up his own life for the cause, and the smoke is broken onto 2 heroes. He'll eat some swarm bugs, but give away this information. Oh no, worst possible luck there. The eye shots actually push Wake Me Up to safety. That smoke doesn't get them anything. Does give them information that Roshan hasn't respawned just yet though. So
Control's like, alright, I'll take your Rex then.
they have to all run back.
Tower is under attack.
But allow this to happen, and now the positioning has changed around here. Windblade suddenly fell to a lot closer to this Roche. It's quite difficult to chase these heroes on the side of Felt if they do not want to be caught like this. Already dropped the X. Torrent's been used. They have a boat potentially. They're smoking immediately from Team Magnus. They're scared that Roche is up. They're really desperate to be able to pick it up. So they want to try and force a fight before the big man gets taken, and they stand directly onto the pit as well. Little do they know that Felt are not going into the pit. They're just skirting right past it because they also don't want this fight. But there's a Blink Ravage coming in from the Tidehunter. You're waiting in the trees to get the quick kill onto Bane, but now BKB is activated by the Kunkka as well as the Troll. Only goes onto the illusions though, the damage from the Battle Trots of Comfort. In the meantime, Zorek gets surrounded by Mark as well as the Tidehunter and the Terrorblade. They will finally be able to kill him. The double kill for the moment. They ignore Comfort for this as he just TPs out to home, but the big objective is that they won the fight enough that they can go into the pit, secure the Aegis for themselves. Like you mentioned, it's a big deal, not just to have this Aegis, but the Shard available for this lineup too.
Yeah, it is so hard for Troll to get any right-clicking done in these fights. Because the TB even has spider legs now.
Yep.
So he can just run up a cliff and Troll is not going to be able to follow. And then of course, if Troll gets the opportunity to right-click, there is still the Weaver.
BKB here. Actually able to kill this task at the same time. Mark got beam stripped, and here's Comfort looking for a target. Okay, the time lapse is gone, so they actually have to run away. Mark in trouble. Mark gonna eat some right clicks. Mark is gonna die, but Comfort activate the Battletrons. It is still an Aegis that's sitting right now on Jack. Gets saved by the illusions, tanking up some of the right click damage. There's going to be the thunder coming in from him. Who is going to win this toe-to-toe matchup? As the Anchor Smash is going to help a little bit from the Tidehunter once the BKBs expire, but it doesn't help at all if you're dead. They do manage to take him out. Also a silence out of the trapness, not going to enable them to get a kill. So Felt still showing signs of life, and they're capable of taking fights, especially if Ravage is down and they're not afraid of the big AoE initiation.
It's so interesting to me. Every single time, I think Felt is out of it and they don't have a chance anymore. Somehow they manage to find some crucial pickoffs. Of course, this doesn't solve the Terrorblade issue, but it's 30 seconds without meta. Maybe they can use this timing, make something nice happen for them.
Gonna be building, it seems, into a blink, into Swift Blink at some point for Comfort. He already picked up the Basher for himself. Now Magic Wand can get jettisoned away. One thing that is worrying me about Team Magnus is just how much of this game is predicated on the TB. I mean, we've spoken about it at length, but it's starting to get a little bit ridiculous. That if we consider that he's not even dead, just if he arrives late to the fight, Team Magnus just has such a lack of damage at this point now. Despite having Mark with both the Aghanim Sector and the Aghanim Shard, really is all coming down to what TB can accomplish for his team.
I have faith in Jack though. Like with the butterfly as well, I have no idea how he's gonna die. The only way is to somehow wait out this Aegis and kill him with magic damage, because Troll has no chance in a man fight.
Dire's middle tower just went down.
Yep, solitary engagement at this point no longer is functional.
Zor.
He gets MKB, and we see a jump now. They get the catch. BKB quickly popped by the Kunkka, but so much damage still coming in towards him. Forced to throw the boat back. Fortunately, it also comes with a hefty serving of Cocoa Rum, so that's going to allow him to be even tankier. However, Jack turning his damage in towards the tier 3 tower, just throwing in these right clicks. Solji did pick up a Shiva's Guard right before showing up to this fight, utilizing Young Arctic Blast just to make sure that they clear as much of the creep wave as possible. And top lane, alright, if you can do it to us, we can do it to you. Comfort steals away a tier 3 tower. They're gonna try to take a fight. Blink, Ravage catches on the 4. Bane's gonna be the first one to die without buyback. Kunkka follows him in the grave. Both him and Skyrim do have buyback though. They're forced to use it immediately. BKBs from Comfort and Solji at the forefront of the fight. Solji go back in. Without Ravage, they feel a lot more confidence about this, but it's still a dangerous place to be. Sage is still available for Jack for another 90 seconds. High shots don't connect, and Comfort will be allowed to use his final legs, get back into the base. The Solji might be dragged in by the Aether Refugee. He is, but is the damage there? No. Boat helps out. Give him the Cocoa Run. He's still alive. Comfort about to die though. Will he lose his life before he gets up the Titanic? No, he doesn't. But he's not allowed to life steal just yet. He gets the chance. The misses off the whirling axes don't allow TB to get in the kill. Now everybody else needs to flee. The damage in onto Tidehunter. They force him away from where Jack is. Do they find him? No, they don't. They couldn't stop the TP out, but the Tidehunter does kill his arch nemesis in the Kunkka. And Tidehunter being gone means that the lone survivor of that fight is gonna be Jack. He gave up his Aegis, he gets out, but only Jack survives. Everybody else gets kept up, and sadly for them, on the side of Team Magnus, somehow Felt they're forcing you to repeat your words here, Winglade. How on earth do they just keep holding?
I have no idea. Even Comfort, he survived on like 10 HP without ulti for like 3 seconds and then managed to get in another satanic hit. It is ridiculous. And now he has an MKB as well, so TB is gonna have to play a little bit more conservatively. He is 6 slotted though.
Hold. Yeah, he's done. Progression is over. He can still go for Abyssal Blade, Swift Blink, but that's it. And there's Comfort. Honestly about to die. Look how low he gets on his HP, but somehow down to 9 HP. Are you kidding me? Alright. Alright, that was some team play coming in from Felt. After that, Comfort, dude, you actually just deserve to win the game outright. My goodness. Surviving a fight on those margins.
Well, he hasn't even died once yet in this game. Just like last game. In this entire series, he's had 0 deaths. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Is he gonna pull a young Uranagi, go the full series without losing a single life? That would be truly impressive. Last game, he was very impressive on the carry job. Doing the same again here. Despite Solji having a hard game, despite them being able to catch up to the tank ability of Zore, still been Comfort, who's happily here, putting the team on his back, being that reliable engine of damage. He gets his Swift Blink, only has progression for the Abyssal Blade, and then he's 100% fully. Well, he can still go like Aghanim, Shard, and
Radiant's
Tusk.
courier has been
I don't know if they get this kill. They jump forward with Solji, goes upon BKB to make it happen. But where else is this fight gonna go? Buyback immediately coming in. Zore popping BKB, forcing Jack to do the same. Both was thrown forward, and the buyback on Tusk, I think Felt is actually happy getting this. They bought back on 2 heroes in the previous hold. They just lost Bane earlier, but now they know that their buybacks will be back off cooldown sooner than those on the side of Team Magnus. So suppose you're okay with this. It is only the 1 buyback, but Dota 2 is a game of margins, and every single margin helps.
We see another small pause. This is Dota after all.
Yep,
Let's see.
that's how it is.
Ember, no notable progression just yet. Tusk just died. Weaver has an Eon disc. That is very nice for him. Like, this Weaver is a big deal. He only has 12k net worth. And I say only, but it's still twice as much as the Skyrat, who's the position for Team Felt. So he is doing very well for himself. This Weaver could have a ton of impact in these fights. Just one clutch time lapse can win a game.
Sadly, since the BKBs were picked up by the side of Felt, we haven't seen full impact of these orchid plays. We have definitely seen a time lapse or 2, but not ones that have completely turned things around. Speaking of Aghanim Scepter time lapse, Aghanim Scepter also being constructed now for this Tidehunter. It's gonna be a bit of a long road still before he gets to that point. Unfortunately, because of how much priority Trap Nest is soaking up on the map, a little bit less priority for the Tide. But we have seen already the impact that this item can have. But I'm really concerned about what starts to happen with that big amount of negative an incredible big number coming out of Jack. Speaking of Jack himself, Hurricane Pike coming next. I feel like we would like to see Daedalus out of him instead of this item, but I suppose he really wants the mobility to help him out, right?
Yeah, and Hurricane Pike is very good against Troll as well. Just to create the distance inside the ulti.
The battle
Because
begins.
even as a TB, you don't wanna man-fight a Troll at melee range. That's just a terrible experience.
Grab it onto Zore. They know there's no buyback on this counter. If they can get this kill, and they can. 115 seconds, gone and gone. No buyback available. And they make this hold. They've been utilizing this boat very, very well on the side of Felt. Need it for their fight, so without it, they certainly cannot hold a lane of racks. They might not even be able to hold the second one. Full 90 seconds, starts the pirate. They smoke up on Felt. They need to do something special here. Jack gonna get jumped on. This is the blink. Okay, here comes the orchid. 4 stop away. Onto Jack, hit the ribbon. Dragging back. Let us troll for a little second. They just want to protect the buildings. And look at this. Look at this. Terrorblade Illusion beating down on this, but Mark gets killed by Comfort. And will they be able to take out the Illusion as well? Yes. It gets bashed at the last second. They've also caught Jack. Comfort back onto the TV. There will be a BKB time lapse. Chapness though now doesn't have a time lapse for himself. They've lost 3. Seems a certainty they're gonna lose at least 4, but they're trying to make sure it's not 5. The fear back, will they kill Comfort in time before it gets off the Satanic? Yes, they do. 99 seconds in the grave, does have buyback, but the Terror Blade with the Aghanim Scepter, what a turnaround with the Terror Wave, allowing them to ensure that they keep this fight so favorable for them, despite losing 3 and failing to take the second lane of Brax.
Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
And that's the first death for Comfort. Must feel weird for him.
What
Dire's
is this
bottom tower is
respawn
being
thing?
chipped away.
Cooldown, huh? You mean for my spells? No, for your death, man. Roche now.
Now another Roche for Jack.
Look at the big man's carrying. Got this refresher shot to get over to the Tidehunter. So we have seen that when they do get good ravages, Team Magnus pretty much auto win those fights. Now they're about to have availability of 2 of them. Third getting picked up a lot later, of course. We don't have the refresher orb anywhere near completion for the time, but now this will do. Should be fine.
Trust there was a good reason.
I was gonna mention how having a refresher would be huge for Tide, and I wasn't sure about him building up the small items, but hey, he has it now. And 2 good ravages is all you need to potentially finish the game. She's on the Void Spirit as well.
Void Spirit, Edge Shot, E-Blade, Dual Scepter, building into his own refresher. Doesn't have BKB, but only died 3 times, hasn't really needed to use it. Felt they finally get Comfort back online. That every single second that he's dead must just feel like an eternity for his team, given how important he is for the lineup and how important he's going to be for the whole. They somehow have to keep this base alive for another 4 minutes. Jack doesn't want to waste the timing on this. Already the whole team is moving their way towards the side of the map. Manta at the ready to begin the siege. See for Team Magnus how quickly they can get this. And for Felt, they all recognize the danger immediately. They're smoked up. They might sack this. Will they pop the clip? No. Oh, no, they... that's too late. Now they know. Team Magnus know that this fight is coming. They have to be aware of this. Where will the jump go? Salty, he finds out with the help of the Comfort Troll Warlord. They do catch out the tusk, but he gets timed up back to KP. Foxo getting clean grip, and now Comfort trying to turn onto Jack. Will he have the damage to kill him? Terror Wave will come out. There's the second ravage. Will he get off any of the satanic? Yes, he does. He's still alive, but he still ends up losing his life. He cannot fight against the Terror Blade. Terror Blade will activate the Sunder as well. Back up to full HP. Comfort forced to buy back. Hunter also died in that fight and also fought back. They're going on to Jack now. They should be able to kill him.
Triple kill.
With these buybacks. Triple kill out for Solji. And with the damage out of the troll, nobody can help him out. Tidehunter has used both ravages already. Doesn't have another one. There's no other BKB for Jack. No other Aegis. No other life. That is going to be TB in the grave for 100 seconds. They do get the full lane of Rax in the top lane though. So they still break the base. Does come at a cost, but that cost is also a buyback from Comfort on the side of Felt.
Dire's middle tower isn't
But
going
he's
to
gonna
last
be
long.
forcing out buybacks as well, most likely. So I'm not sure if Team Magnus is gonna be able to defend with just 4 heroes. And Troll is known for his ability to absolutely demolish buildings.
See this fight again. Started out so well, it seemed, for the side of Team Magnus. Both whiffs completely. Most of the BKB duration is gone. The patience from the Tidehunter to wait for the right moment with the Ravages keeps the Kunkka out of the fight. Allows them to right-click down Comfort. And it did actually come really close. I honestly thought Jack was going to die in that first life, but this whole time, whilst they're focusing Comfort, look at Solji just taking the entire rest of the fight all by his lonesome. And now, here they are in the base. 4 heroes are up. Comfort pops BKB. If they get Rax and get out without even having the troll come back, it still feels like a win for them. But without the BKB, it feels a bit risky. Comfort. Only a few seconds left until Terrorblade should be up. Having to buy back for him will also suck so much right now. That's why they're delaying as much as they can from Team Magnus. Solji and Comfort. We even started sieging from range here with the troll, and it's gonna be enough, I think. Solji pops BKB, has a remnant. Oh, he does it actually. The jump in, Mark. They almost caught the troll. Oh no, why did Comfort come back? Wait, that might be the game.
Yeah, that is huge. 2 minutes, no troll. He got greedy.
Now that was a failed bolt.
The Rex was so low and he was like, just 2 more attacks, but Ember was completely out of mana. He didn't have the Satanic for the Dispel. He just got greedy.
No. Rather let the Ember Spirit die. He still has access to buyback, but he came back to finish off the Rax. There's no way they hold this 90 seconds by themselves. Ember Spirit even gonna buy out straight up for this Refresher Orb. bringing it back. He's going to try and refresh this BKB. And they're coming for the jugular here, Wingblade. Team Magnus can smell victory. Team Magnus can smell game 3. And they're about to pick it up. If they can get to this push in time. 70 seconds. No troll. Jump in from Solji. Who's he going to try and reach though here? This move doesn't really make sense and wake me up.
My Skynet
Right click down and 4 shots by the Skynet Blade at the moment. Jump to the backlines, okay. Your Bronco pops BKB, they get the beam grip out onto the Terrorblade. They try to get off the Massive Blade. They almost get the kill and they find it. What on earth are we seeing? They're holding without the troll. Buybacks will come in though from these heroes, but Tusk will die before any of these heroes who brought back can return to the fray. And they will be playing 4v4 now. It is an even matchup spread, but without some of these ultimates, they might still feel that Jack is strong enough to take this place. But 30 seconds left on the troll, and it's still another tier 4 tower to get through. Can they do this, Wingblade? This feels a bit too risky now for Team Magnus.
They have 10 seconds of meta to spare. Nice Kunkka shot as well. They just back up. You don't see a lot of tidal wave, but it is hilarious.
Oh, I love it. The defensive tool here. Sending the water. Tidehunter has the AoE Gush. Zore just sends a wave at you. This is crazy. You know why this is crazy? Alright, we're gonna take this replay. Look how they got this kill. Mystic Flare thrown out after the Fiend's grip. Boat comes crashing through. But the positioning of Solji to immediately jump back, abandons his initial target, realizes that the chance is there to kill the Terrorblade. Dude, Solji, since getting this BKB, honestly has been like looking like a man transformed in this game and how he's been engaging these fights. Such a good job of keeping his team in the frays, even when comfort isn't really available to dish out the lethal damage.
He's gonna have buyback soon as well. But yeah, this Terrorblade, even with his 4000 HP, just feels like paper against the overwhelming amount of magic damage that Feld has. Just one death, one mistake could be all that it takes. There is gonna be a window 3 minutes from now where Troll is gonna have buyback and TB doesn't. And that is huge because you can just like sacrifice one of your lives to trade. We'll see. Roche could spawn in a minute from now.
Feels like, we've said this a lot of times here in this game, but it feels like those Roche will certainly determine the rest of the story, where this goes. At this point now that we're getting into this late game scenario, as you were mentioning in a previous game, it doesn't really come down to who has the farm advantage, experience advantage, tower advantage. One fight can really end everything. You know, just for curiosity's sake, let's see what these graphs look like. You know, Gaben, Dota Plus is thinking that we have a 37% win probability for Felt. There's practically no goal difference, but they have a massive lead in experience. And we see that reflected by the fact that they've got 3 heroes, 25 plus, all of their cores at that level. Team Magnus only have the 2, although the Void Spirit not too far away. So Mark, very soon we'll have access to, in my opinion, one of the most obscene level 25 talents in the game, the Dissimulate stun. It's pretty bonkers. Like nuts, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Could do some crazy work here. Even more kiting, even more disables. Not like their team was lacking any, but more always helps.
Oof, look at this. Almost like the game can sense that we need a little bit of added drama, so Roshan will have a 2-minute window after the shorter cooldown. So very long, not the longest it could have been, but I don't think either team is really happy about having to wait that long, especially not Felt. Would have preferred to go as soon as the TB was under that situation where he didn't have buyback, but Troll did. Sadly, that window is going to be very narrow because by the time Roche respawns, TB will only be 3.5 minutes out from having buyback.
MKB now for the TB. That's gonna help a lot with actually hitting the Troll. Because who needs boots in the late game? Come on, you have spider legs. And 47 armor. Bloody TB.
Seems balanced to me. Wingblade, what's the issue? see no problem there. Mark, no, Mark, be careful, my friend. Be careful, be careful. BKB beats this. Gotta watch yourself. Mark gets taken out in a hurry. And he takes the first rabbit with him. Solji, though, jumping deep into the fight with his own BKB will provide enough protection. He come right back. Dore also used BKB, but he might have gone a little bit too far forward. But here comes Comfort blinking in onto Jack. They've got the right clicks out with the Battletron. Time-lapse will be there to save his life. Mark trying to jump back in onto the Cyrus Mage. Not going to be able to find this kill just yet, but he's definitely going to be gone. But Missing Flare will take out the Tusk first as well. Comfort blinking in once more. There's the Hurricane Pike he talked about to push Comfort away from the fight. Jack, will he be able to survive this? Yes, he will. They get the troll. He buys back though. Wants to utilize the second life as they now have the stun disable out onto Jack. Will they be able to get this kill though? Because they've lost Gareth Mage and Bane. Solji might be lost
Double
too.
kill.
He dies. He does have buyback. Might need to use it. Certainly does. Goes in for it immediately, but now...
Oh, there is a
Roshan
DD on the
about to
floor.
score 15 seconds. Of course there's a DD on the floor. Of course there is. Jack picks it up.
Team Magnus, do they want to finish? No, right?
Surely not. Surely not.
Oh, it would be
Roche.
suicide. Yeah, Roche is up. Just go for the safe play and take this.
Kind of feels like the Tusk was in the Roshan pit being like, guys, if you don't come here, I'm literally not gonna come with you on this push. And they're like, okay, fine. Let's just take this Aegis. All the goodies are available. Scepter, Cheese, Pressure. Don't know who gets what in what direction. I guess Jack is gonna get the Aghanim so he can sell. He already sold the previous one, but now he has Tearaway back online. Super stacked with the Aegis. Doesn't have to worry about not having buyback. And in fact, his buyback is going to return in 90 seconds. Troll still 6.5 minutes out. So that's a massive double life advantage. Triple life, in fact, that you're going to have over Comfort if you do fight within the window of the next 90 seconds.
Jack does need to get another 1,000 gold or something to truly have his buyback. Because when you're this farmed, buyback tends to cost a lot of money. 3.3k in his case.
Cheap.
So much hesitation for these teams. They don't want to mess up.
In case anybody has forgotten what the stakes are, this is the lower division of the DPC for NA. The victory here starts you on the road of getting into the upper division. Being in the upper division is the road potentially towards getting into TI. Lots and lots at stake. Every game has potential to change the story of your life
Dire's
forever.
bottom tower needs some
No
help.
room for cavalier mistakes. No room for moments of madness that don't need to happen. Team Magnus having finally come to this point where they're on the cusp of getting over the hill, taking us to a third deciding game.
Dire's bottom tower is
Don't want
under
to
attack.
commit until they are certain that they have all the tools they need to close the game out. It looks like they have that certainty here. Windblades, they're coming in. They're looking for these neggers. They want to end it now.
Like Dire fortified this structure.
We have double Ravage. See what they can do with it. They could potentially even have triple Ravage, but Mike wants a refresher as well.
Yep. Somebody has to get it. Give up their goal to somebody else. You know, sharing out here for the side of Team Magnus and Mark. Drops in. Get the damage out onto December. Just a heck, but not much follow-up after that. Just buys time for the Terrorblade to finish off the Megas.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, it will come crashing in. Only got the melee racks. Not in yet for the Rage, but they've got the first start. Mark jumping in, drag back with the Aether Remnant. Slowly but surely, they're gonna put in this damage. They don't have Treant Protector to heal this racks back up. Of course, we're well past the point of having repair kits in the game.
Dire's middle
Just need to
tower
seize
is
this
under
one out.
attack.
Terrorblade. So another 2 minutes with the Davis. Somehow felt still keeping them out. They put a full Mjolnir on Solji. And what to Jack? Oh, Jack trying to turn. Jack is gonna lose the first life. Time lapse will be there though. Very nicely done. Keep him alive. Snowball will also be there for salvation, but they got the kill on Mark, and Mark is just down for the count. No buyback available for him. They lose the first life of the Aegis. There's gonna come out the double Ravage, but it's not done nearly enough here, Wingblade. Jack getting chased down. Comfort really wants this kill. Can Jack get out? Will he get bashed? Will he get bashed? No, he won't. He will not get bashed, nor will the Time Hunter. Both of them do manage to mount an escape. And everybody from Team Magnus fleeing as fast as they can. Comfort finds him. Oh, no reveal. So Trapness able to get himself out as well.
Next time.
But once more, Wingblade through double Ravage, through a double life on Terrorblade, through Mark's Refresher Shot, through Time-Lapse Axe with Aeon Disc on top of it, through Tuskar saves, Felt still hold, was still in this game.
I have no idea how. Like, they used double Ravage while somehow Terrorblade was being disabled by the long duration Searing Chain, and then he died halfway during the first Ravage, so the complete duration was wasted. And that is like the only situation in which Felt doesn't immediately lose. This game. We've had some epic ones today, but this one may top all of it.
There's no buyback on Mark. They know for a fact there's a dieback as well. So Felt, they're coming in. They want to get some racks of their own, some building pressure up for themselves. On the high ground. We'll see if Comfort as well as Solji will get caught out very far forward again this time around on this push. Great job with these gushes to prevent them from going in. Jack pops BKB, but he's jumped on by Comfort. Will he get Abyssal needed? He gets stunned. No Abyssal blade just yet. His BKB is finished. Here comes the Abyssal. Here comes the triple remnant from Solji. Without BKB, he doesn't have the refresher. Needs to be careful, but Walrus kick. Back on Solji with the silence as well. Ember Spirit is gone. Down and out for 2 minutes. Does cost the Tuskar's life though. Everybody else from Felt, can they flee? Mark, Nightmare up, Steel Boko will not be able to escape from this with his life. Does die. Has buyback available though. Wake me up. Slowly TPing out. He's gone. He retreats. Zore retreats. Comfort retreats. They need to just buy back, dude. Bane, you know they're coming. You know they're coming. You have to. As soon as possible. What a topsy-turvy game this has been here, Wingblade. And yet again, Felt, they falter all the time when it comes to making the final push. Great in the fights, great in the hold. But in this game, they've really been struggling to take these buildings on the high ground.
There is so much deep push. Especially once again, the tide with the gush. This is such a trend. How do you push into this? It's 400 damage. Reduces armor by 10. And it's on a 7-second cooldown as well.
7-second cooldown with 4-second duration, so extremely high uptime on that spell. However, without having Ember Spirit, Felts don't have to worry about whether or not this Tide Hunter is useful on the defense. They need to be concerned about what they will do against these Megas, as they have been taken now by Team Magnus at long last. Just before the hour mark is broken, we'll have them getting the super creeps, the Megas, basically having Ogre Magi's all around. And just that's crazy is that despite having these Megas available, despite them having a 21k gold lead, despite this experience lead, well, trending in their direction, still in the lead of Felt, but I still don't feel confident that they're going to definitely win this game. Still feels like the last fight has to be executed perfectly from them, especially since now Comfort has access to the BKBs off cooldown, just needs the gold to be able to purchase it when the time is right.
My money will always be on the double Ravage in the late game, but anything can happen here. Troll needs to get some more money though, it doesn't have buyback currently. And same is true for Ember. They should have their buybacks back, but they just don't have the money. It's a risky position.
I think fortunately for them though, with everybody back up on their side, I don't think that Team Magnus actually want to force a fight right now. They want the next Roshan. That's going to be Rosh number 5, I think, if we get to that point. Crazy game. And it's getting crazier here, Wingblade. As we break this hour mark, it is time. The time is emerging. Tier 5 items are going to come out. What madness are you expecting? What's going to be the out for Vlad, so he's the only hero on the map right now without buyback. But Jack with a double damage rune. Got to close this one out. Clearing out all the buildings in the base. Solji jumping in. Gets caught immediately with the head. Oh no, Solji saved by the nightmare, but will not have salvation from the Ravage. Will be forced to buy back. Comfort also now getting Walrus kicked into a bad place. He activates the Battletron, but everybody has some kind of way to kite him around in this fight, but at the same time, Mystic Flare takes down the Terrorblade. Mark getting thrown back by Solji. Beats grip out onto Mark. Another kill onto Void Spirit. Tough God dies too. He buys back. Then buyback on the side of Felt, but they still have 2 remaining. 3 in fact. Only the Troll and the Ember bought back. However, everyone except for the Tidehunter who had it on the side of Team Magnus expends it. And I ask you again here, Wingblade, the question I've been asking you for the last 30 minutes, how on earth is Felt still holding?
I have no idea because Troll 1000 damage in that fight.
Ravage! Catches 3. Bane though buys back immediately, and Solji doesn't die fast enough. Still has access to the BKB. They're going back. They want Jack. Jack will have his own BKB this time around though. Comfort waiting until he has the Battletrons. Doesn't want to blink in too far just yet. Mark maybe a bit too far forward. Needs to watch himself. They're throwing in the Torrents though. Sore got kicked out by the Tusk. Tusk in a little bit of danger. The Torrents are going to connect onto the Terrorblade. Not allowed to dish up the damage, but he gets time lapse back. As Mark will E-Blade into the Bane. Get the quick kill. There will be a dieback on Bane, but now we have a death onto the Tidehunter. He does have buyback. Brings it back in. Trappness dies. He tried to chase down Solji. Doesn't have it. And now they've gotten Terrorblade potentially isolated. Tidehunter helping out. Kunka buys back. Skyret Maze buys back. We have a Hex on to come on. Comfort, get back in the fray. Gets off the whirling axes. And they don't have the damage to kill him. Jack in so much danger. He gets off the Thunder, but he also gets back right next to the Ancient. He wants to end the game right now. There's going to be the time lapse. He gets a triple kill by killing the Kunka. And he's trying to force off away from Comfort. He gets a Rampage. Terrorblade is doing it. Terrorblade is winning this game. Solji is trying by himself to hold it all together, but it's not going to be enough. Give the Terrorblade the double Rampage, man. And there it is. He gets it. It has to be done now. GG is called. Stop throwing the towel, and Team Magnus take a shocking win. Took them so long to keep this push going, but 1 hour in, they get the victory. They get the dub. They're taking us to a game 3.
It is finally. if they want a bit more disable. But I think Puck is not aggressive.
Be zero mistakes that can be made with make these kind of performances happen where they just counter rotation from the opposing number in the mid lane.
Yep. He's definitely leaving his mark on the early game here. Jack farming on 50 HP. Always a little bit scary.
It's fine. It has Morbid Mask. It'll be fine. It's not fine, actually. This is terrible. You need to run away. To be a very rough time here in the top lane. The push is still a bit mediocre, but with nobody around, again, they're going to have the same kind of situation where they'll be able to easily ensure that they take the tower down. Very luckily for Steel Boko, he was right in front of the face of the Tusk before they TP'd out, but can't really cancel it or stop that from happening. Now I guess the game becomes about where next do we see Exorcism being used for Solji, and where next do we see Mark deciding to go to help out his team on this Void Spirit.
And speaking about Void, he is going for a Midas. So these teams are like, you know, last game was pretty long. Let's see if we can make it longer this time.
Are those cracks in Dire's top
Why
tower?
not? 62 minutes wasn't long enough for our taste. Let's try to push it to 80. See what happens. Maybe they're feeling like, guys, we didn't actually get to see the tier 5 items. Don't y'all want to go ultra late again to make sure that we at least get something interesting going?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we all love Dota, so longer Dota is more Dota is better.
Dire's top tower is gone.
To me, it makes sense.
Left behind.
Perfect set. Especially when you're in those almost 2-hour-long games trying to push high ground against techies. That's literally the most fun possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once again with his Vanguard, just gonna be enjoying the tanky life for as long as it lasts.
Yep. Vanguard into Armlet into Heaven's Halberd. This game though, there is more than one right clicker, especially because the Faceless Void going Midas, he will eventually be able to rack up the gold he needs to become a secondary right-clicking threat outside of just the looter. If they don't start playing more aggressively on the side of Cloud, they're practically playing into two cores. And I love the fact that Faceless Void went for raw Midas. He's like, boots first, why? Gold first. That's the important thing.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
I mean, if this goes late,
Looks like Dire fortified
Magnus wins. There is no contest.
Practically automatically, but they also want to try and win a little bit early, as they were going for a quick jump here onto Solji. Does give them some very good information since both supports immediately emerge from the shadows. So now they know where these heroes are not. Cloud understand this as well, so they immediately smoke up to try and connect elsewhere on the map. Prize a hero who thinks they are safe.
On Dire's top
Right now that hero might be Jack, Going to the high ground here. Team Wake Me Up as well as Steel Brock. I'm not sure they actually have enough for this fight. In the meantime, trying to go on to the middle. Mark here will still be alive. They get the Faceless Void rotating in. At the same time, they found Mark Jack. That's what they wanted. Shackle Shot doesn't connect. So sad. And now they might be set up on 2-4 or 5. Exorcism forced out early. They really want to try and take this. They try to bring down the Bane, but they're the first bubble of the game. Morty's kisses flying over onto the DP. The ghosts get taken out super early on as the Cooker jumps through with the Astral Step from Mark. It's going to be a double kill for Jack just with raw right-click damage. Didn't even need to commit the Eclipse there. Didn't need to level it at all. Only gets it after the fight. And that is a disaster for the side of Fault. They made that move to try and find Jack in the top lane. Instead, they find a Chrono. They find the combo that Team Magnus has. They find themselves regretting with every fiber of their being that they even deigned to walk up these steps right now.
And that's a 10-1 lead now. And Luna is starting to get really fat, and at the same time both the Void Spirit as well as the Faceless Void are having a pretty good time as well. That being said, it's still less than a 1k gold lead, and the Dota Plus Assistant says it's just a 62% chance to win for Team Magnus. And of course, the word of the Dota 2 Plus Assistant is gospel.
Literally gospel. Infallible, unyielding, will never change. Exactly what's gonna happen. The question I have though, after that fight, and despite how successful it was, is we see Mark really still has been struggling to get up in the net worth. After we pick up this Kaya, is this Sanded Kaya, is this Bloodstone, or is it just a value Kaya for now? We'll talk about it in a second as they're going on to Steel Bronco. Quick kill onto the Bane whilst we have a boat that crashes onto the Snapfire. But she's not dead yet. Kept alive by her team. Oh my goodness, the frustration for Falk must truly be building. They still only got the 1 kill for themselves, and so many times these heroes come so close to death here, Wingblade, but they just fail to tick them over. And in fact, they just smoke up again. Immediately back in on the aggression. You know why? Face this Void. Okay, he doesn't have Chrono just yet. But he does have at least a way to know where the Medusa is, a way to jump in and slow her down and potentially start off the train that leads to her death.
I'm not sure if they have the damage without Chrono. Maybe with Mark's disables, but probably safer to wait for Chrono. It is still ridiculous to me that Snapfire has a strength gain of 3.5. Like, you have a hero with insane damage, armor reduction, a stun. That's also just naturally insanely tanky.
Very, very, very tanky. Quite difficult. So, Snapfire, one of these heroes that there is very good reason why we see her practically every single draft in some capacity. Not just in practically every single draft. I literally don't remember a series of Dota that I've watched, a full best of 3, where it wasn't a ban or pick on Snapfire in some regard.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Getting stretched to the limits right now because Fit felt they're really just happy to play as a unit around each other down in this bottom lane. Whilst Team Magnus, they're splitting things up quite,
fortified their
I wouldn't say efficiently, but
Dire's
very far apart on the map. Oh, Chrono might come out, but the silence hits first onto the base is going to get saved though. Both by the Fire Snap Cookie and by the Snowball, but it's not going to be enough. Dies eventually, loses his life, but Mark comes in looking for a kill. Onto Soldier, won't be able to find the Zore with the boat helping to crash through the torrent, making the space that they need. They're going to be able to win out this fight. They do eventually kill Soldier on the far side of things. The Zore dragging back Mark, hoping to try and find a kill onto this Void Spirit. He's able to escape onto the high ground. Alright, Faceless Void, a little bit too far forward. They were hoping to get the bubble out with the Morty's Kisses combo to stop the push onto this tier 2 tower. Unfortunately, the initiation from Felt a little bit too fast. The silence from DP a little bit too strong. And they end up getting the kill. Although Team Magnus do defend the tower, which is why they came in the first place. So I guess okay, not great, but okay.
Yeah, that was the Luna BKB reveal as well, so Team Felt is probably gonna be quite happy about that. So Void has his Mask of Madness now. Maybe building a BKB next. He desperately needs it.
Let's see his tank ability still lives up to its previous building. Oh no, Chrono catches two. Morty's kisses haven't been used just yet. They don't think they'll need them. Moray does die. They toss up Steel Barco into the air. He's gonna get cracked down onto with the Fire Snap cookie. Should be able to get this kill. And the Tusk rolling on to wake me up on the high ground, but doesn't want to try and commit the shots. Afraid he might not find the catch, so they'll just allow the Wind Ranger to escape. Nonetheless, good small skirmish here for the side of Team Magnus, and they're just happy to have committed Chrono and gotten something very, very valuable. They also force out the Stone Gaze, whilst Wind Ranger got taken out solo by Mark here in this mid lane.
Pretty nice kill going the way of Mike. He's gonna be building BO3s next. Last game he waited until like 55 minutes to upgrade his boots, but this game he's like 18 minutes. That seems like a nice time. He was walking around with a Hex, a Yules, an E-Blade, and brown boots.
Yeah, why not? What's the issue?
I mean,
what's the problem?
At that point, I feel like just buying Tranquils is worth it because it's so cheap.
Oh no. Just to have some kind of brown boots upgrade. Mark was happy to walk around in game 2 with his lucky shoes on, but this time around we'll equip the appropriate drip, have that map mobility. You know, try and find a fight right now while they still have this. Is a scout out onto Luna. Steel Borko is actually surrounding Jack. Oh no, that's Luna. Luna, okay. She shows in the lane. Oh god, they know where she is. At the same time though, you see Solji coming across the Snapfire, so they also know where this Death Prophet is at. They get the grip out onto this Luna. Do they have enough to get this kill? No, they don't. They jump back in immediately with the Aether Remnant to create space, and Jack also pops BKB Eclipse. They're going onto Solji. Exorcism or no, this DP will get taken down. No more options for her.
Not much good.
And that's also the full spirit's not going to be available for another 130 seconds. So even when she respawns, it's a long time that they're going to be ineffective on the map for the side of Team Felt.
That Prophet felt kind of invulnerable with this BKB, but she wasn't ready for all the physical damage.
Not at all. Luna just hit too hard right now, and the physical damage is now being leveraged against the Roshan. Grab the early ages of the Immortal pre 20 minutes, just here at 19. Jack is already kitted up. Aegis until feeling really good about himself, and it feels even better to know, especially when they watch this replay, they'll figure out that he was moments away from actually dying, but he went back in the opposite direction first. See on the other side of the map that they also now just found a kill onto Bane. Low commitment kills are the best. All they needed was an astral step. Mark there. Link upwards in from the Tusk. Trap Nest yet again. Getting some very early aggressive items for his past 4 hero. Same time correct.
The Snapfire.
I don't know.
It's gonna be fine.
Just with Jack being here, I don't know about this. Eye shot. Zore in position, but they don't want to go onto the low ground. Pursue that particular fight. Does seem like it would be a weird thing to do when you're this far ahead. Why take that kind of risk? And they won't. Just go back to farming here, Wingblade. Getting everybody bigger and bigger. And the worry we had about Void becoming a secondary core, it's already coming true. He's about to finish BKB, and he's third on the net worth right now.
Yeah, this is a scary Void. If he gets the Fuso afterwards as well, he's gonna wreck this Dusa.
Were those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Available for herself.
Dire have fortified their structures.
Daddy will certainly make life easier. Alright. Let's face this Void. Still create a lot of problems for her once he gets the Diffusal Blade. In fact, just the Void Spirit in general can make life so hard. We already saw a kite job that can be done by heroes like the Void Spirit, and Comfort is not really positioned correctly or finds himself caught out, then suddenly you're either getting dragged into a negative fight or you're just unable to dish out the damage you really want to. A bit easier on the Dusa though than the Troll matchup. Not going to be as rough for him. Still has to be careful and still will always be susceptible to getting jumped on with this bubble from the Faceless Void. Especially now that he has the BKB Wingblade, so time to smoke, I think. You don't want to be wasting his Aegis. Mark is not waiting for any items. Luna know, you might want to wait for the Scotty, but is it close enough? How far away is it? Nah, it's a bit too far. It feels like. I don't know. We'll see what they decide to do, but they're getting around each other right now. With the exception of Mark on his Void Spirit, everybody is around this Roshan pit, so they might decide to make a move. But they're also comfortable farming because, like you mentioned, if they go Ultra into the late game, practically no way that they lose this matchup.
Void has a really preparing for a late game. He's like, I'm not gonna buy any small items, I'm just gonna go straight into the big 6k gold items.
Look at this damage from Jack. Mask of Madness, direct damage onto the tier 2 tower. They take it, it's already gone, and oh no. A jump in onto Zore, but the Faceless Void will not commit the bubble just yet. Thinking about it still, and with Snapfire being nearby, we have the option for the Morty's Kisses. But also, you know, sort of like playing with the Tidehunter. Sometimes it's not just about the chrono, but the threat of the chrono. Always continually forcing them back, having them play in positions on the map that they might not want to occupy, but they're forced to occupy, lest they run headlong into a big team fight spot that they have no counterplay for. And it's kind of funny, right, that 3 games in a row, but never really felt like they would never felt like they had the full team fight advantage in any of the games that they've come into. It's always been this one big spell from Team Magnus that allows them to get the advanced initiation.
So let's see, Team Magnus. Are they gonna commit for any pushes, or do they just...
Radiant structures are fortified.
Looks like they're gonna take this tier 2 at least.
Dire's middle tower.
I doubt they're gonna wanna go high ground with just 45 seconds left on the
Radiant's
Aegis.
bottom tower's got problems.
Kind of no point doing that. I mean, it is the first Aegis of their doing, right? It's not necessary to utilize it in that way. And we see now Zore how to use the tidal wave with the Aghanim shot to jump back onto him. They don't want to commit the chrono. A little bit of miscommunication coming in from Team Magnus.
Radiant's bottom tower
As
is
the Faceless
no
Void
more.
leapt in, was about to pop the bubble. As the Morty's Kisses were raining in, they decide against it. They're gonna come bottom. Just look for Steel Vocal. They absolutely cannot escape here. Fiend Script not gonna be effective. Sorry, bro. And that's 2 minutes now. That's also not available on the field.
That was one of the shortest Fiend scripts I've seen in a while.
Oh lord.
Medusa is farming up really well too, though. We cannot underestimate the impact that a farmed Medusa can have. So in a straight up 1v1, Medusa will easily handle a Luna.
It's not a straight up 1v1, is it though, Wingblade? Playing an unfair 2v1 matchup because no matter with the fact that they started him in the off lane, this Faceless Void is undoubtedly playing the safe lane. Playing just straight up carry Faceless Void here, so he wants to go for this SNY as well, changing his mind from the butterfly from earlier, deciding instead to get the earlier fighting tool for himself. Felt will not have that comfort of being able to wait for a long time before Comfort is fully ready to fight. They'll have to fight sooner rather than later, whether they like it or not. And then under those conditions, sure, killing Luna is one thing, but killing Luna and Faceless Void becomes an entirely different kettle of fish.
What does this Void Spirit want? He's been hailing Death Prophet for a while.
I think he wants to kill her. He wants to kill her, you know?
But that's illegal.
But you see, he has a dissimulate to break through the bars of prison, so you can't even arrest him anyway. Big plays there. Be able to bring down DP. All by her lonesome on the top side of the map. They might not even be done just yet. Looking for Zori as well. Ice shot will be there onto the Kunkka. They will be able to get the damage out. Not enough for the kill just yet. The boat will enable some Coco Rum as well. Mark does have Yule Scepter. Aether Remnant in the moment will commit it. They have the damage with Morty's Kisses flying in. And a wall response blink, which allows them to also take out Steel Vocal. And despite the 2-hero torrents, 2-hero hit with the power shot, absolutely nothing they can do in that situation. And Team Magnus claimed 2 kills after claiming the life of the DP up top. And even though Jack no longer has access to this Aegis, he still is compelled to put some damage onto the tier 3 tower on the high ground.
Needs to be a little bit careful. But look at the score, it's 3-22. Even though the lead is just 8k, Felt has been struggling. Let's see, who has the kills? Kunka has 2.
Are those
And
cracks
Death Prophet
in
has
Dire's
1.
top tower?
Time is money.
To be fair for Comfort, this is... You're playing Medusa. I mean, it sucks not being involved in kills all that much, but... There's worse fates as Medusa than being 0-1-0 at 27 minutes. If you're allowed to just keep farming up. About to finish the butterfly as well. We'll give that evasion and some additional damage. Faceless Void, not done with MKB. Oh, well, he changed his mind again. From Butterfly to SNY, and now he's going MKB. Gonna get this very, very shortly. In fact, he's gonna have this maybe like a minute at the latest after Medusa finishes her full Butterfly. This is very good, I think, at the end of the day here for the side of Team Magnus, because now they already have the counterplay to the big ticket item that it felt like Fault was just waiting for before they could do anything on the map.
Still, I don't think that Void really wants to focus to do so. But it's still a nice damage item regardless, because he has a lot of attack speed and now he has the level 20 talent as well. It's gonna hit like a truck inside Chrono.
Speaking of experience and his levels, as we was just merge, advantage that they have, not just in the 9k in gold, but also a lot of levels up side of Team Magnus. 22 on the Luna, 20 on the Faceless Void, 19 on Mark's Void Spirit. The nearest heroes chasing on the side of Felt are of course the Medusa, who's super stacked and she's level 20, but besides her, DP's only level 17. Very far behind, doesn't even have access to the level 3 Ghost at this point in time. Feels like there's this major asymmetry in the ability to dish out the necessary damage in these fights. As you mentioned, because of this additional attack speed on the Faceless Void, the additional levels he has, much tankier, much stronger, and now they have an Aegis to their name. Since we have this Luna buy her own Aghanim Shard, I'm feeling that they should give this towards Faceless Void, right? Already have Mark also buying their own one on the Void Spirit, so Faceless Void, just get it, get the reverse timeout going, why not?
Yep, for sure. Normally I would say that Snapfire Shard is also very good, but this Snapfire is more focused on the ulti as opposed to jumping in with a blink and then going for the initiation. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense for the Snapfire to get it.
Well, pause does come through. We will see them grab it. Faceless Void really looking like a massive threat right now. And one thing that's kind of scary is that Jack is leading into the Satanic soon, has an Eye of Skadi of their own, have access to the Chrysalis as well. But they're just making space for this Aegis.
Radiant took down your
There we go.
I trust there was a good
Aegis,
reason.
baby. And also, oh no! Comfort gets found out here on the high ground. Morty's kisses will follow directly from the jump that Mark made. They try to go for a nightmare save. It's not going to be enough. Here comes the Faceless Void. Chrono catches on to 2, but they do manage to take out this Luna, and they got the Fiend's Grip out onto the Faceless Void. They're dead. Jack will try and trigger off the BKB to try and survive this. Will they be able to get the Luna out? Yes, they do. Nobody else will be that lucky though. And Tusk tossed up into the air. They'll find the quick kill there for Comfort. And it looked like they'd found the jump. It looked like they'd found the play onto the Fault lineup. But instead, they just find death and destruction. And in one fight, Felt will double their kill lead, or their kill score overall. Take away the Aegis. Now they're looking for a tier 2 tower as well. And the damage from Medusa, she was allowed to unload onto everybody. The Chrono didn't connect onto her wing blade, so she was fully free in that fight.
I am quite impressed that Void managed to miss both of the targets that are important to Chrono in the team fight.
So no Bane, no Medusa.
Like, you don't care about the Kunkka, the Wind Ranger, or the Death Prophet being in Chrono because you can just press BKB, right? But the other two, they have ways of getting through BKB and either disabling you or just straight up killing you. And he was like, nah, I'm just gonna Chrono the rest of the team. We'll see how this goes.
Spoiler alert, it did not go.
I still think they're in a good spot. They just need to get their target priority straight.
I think they were kind of surprised themselves by
Let
how
the
lucky it
fighting
seemed to come
recommence.
directly across on Medusa.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
You know,
middle tower
sometimes-
has fallen.
When good things come your way unexpectedly, you're not necessarily best poised to take them. You're not expecting it to happen. Team Magnus now find themselves still with this Luna in a very comfortable position farm-wise, but Medusa has taken the pole position of farm on the map. Thankfully for them, everybody else is still quite far behind for the side of Pelt, but from that fight, catch-up is starting to happen. But the big thing is now they will not be able to play around that Aegis for the next 5 minutes.
Regeneration!
Just gonna be a regular old Luna, which means she is susceptible to dying. Has to be careful in these fights and make sure that her positioning is on point. Avoid being right-clicked down by Comfort, or just make sure that the Faceless Void gets the bubble out onto the Medusa.
Poor Void just wants to use his Midas, but there is no creeps on the map.
Wow, how far is he gonna travel for just one creep for this Midas? Okay, please tell me he gets there with the Siege Dragon.
Gets it. Oh, now he's gonna run to the secret shop and die before he gets it? That would be unfortunate.
That would be hilarious. And Comfort comes in on the high ground. Time dilation to start this one off. The Fiend's Grip coming out onto this Luna. They don't have Chrono to cancel this. Morty's Kittle will come out, but the save there with the snowball. Jack gets to stay alive. And now here come the rest of the heroes to get the turnaround. Eclipse also flies through from the heavens to bring down several of these targets. Shot onto both the Faceless Void and the Trap Nest. Very beautiful plays there.
As was
And they
promised.
managed to get the 2 kills off of this, make that a third. Comfort allowed to right-click through everybody. That shackle shot from Wake Me Up. Woo!
That's how you win games, baby.
That's how you win games. Comfort now, staying alive in that fight. Dishes out another 6,000 damage. Very, not super far ahead of the Luna, but far enough ahead that they've dragged this gold lead, which at some point was cresting at about 10k, back to 3. Oh my goodness. Well, you weren't wrong. He's gonna get back close to the secret shop and die, despite having used the Midas. But how he died, no one could have expected a shackle shot to be that perfect from Wake Me Up.
Right, next fight. They're gonna have a Chrono, and I still think, even though they've been losing these fights, Team Magnus is still in a decent spot. They just need to get their Chrono straight. They haven't been able to get any nice ones in the past, I would say, 32 minutes and 35 seconds.
Come on, that's not fair. They got the one, the first one that they used. Where Morty's Kisses also came out. That one was okay. That was fine.
I guess so, yeah.
But nonetheless, it is a bit of a problem when you pick the particular combo and you're not able to reliably land that combo. We're going to see them make another attempt. Mark on his Void Spirit, leading the charge now as they go in for a smoke movement here. Team Magnus.
Radiant's top tower.
Broken by Zore. They find him in the trees. They've got more than enough damage to take him out. Without access to buyback, they need to leave, but no, they found Comfort. Gaze triggered out, as well as the Ghost as well. They will lose the early Wake Me Up Wind Ranger, but look at the damage inside the bubble! Oh my goodness, who's locked in here with who? Faceless Void ends up getting the Void Spirit killed as well. Locked him inside the bubble for the right clicks to come in, for these ghosts to start hurting him. It turns into a triple kill here. Oh my goodness, Team Magnus. 3 fights back to back to back that go disastrously. Worst case scenario possible. And now this Comfort Medusa so far ahead of the Luna. They're bounding onto the tier 2 tower. We see this fight again.
Radiant's
Chrono. Caught his own ally. No. So sad. So sad.
That's such a grieving Chrono.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He just stuns his teammate while the Medusa just kills his entire team. And then he got the DP in the Chrono as well, but DP doesn't care about being stunned as long as the ghosts can deal damage.
Radiant structures have been snow
And
fortified.
now it's getting to a point where Medusa may just be too big to be killed in a Chrono. 25 as well. Now she's slowly gonna work up to getting all of the talents.
See if they can bring taking this down. They actually might want to turn onto Jack. They don't have the full complement of a lineup here. This is a very greedy job from Team Magnus. Gale Force from the Wind Ranger gonna push them all back, and there's the Fiend's Grip gonna be onto Jack. There's no salvation here. They are able to kill him. Luna down for the count. Snapfire follows her to the grave, and the Tusk on the high ground trying to get away from this fight. They buy back on Snapfire. Magnus, one more right click will kill. It's gonna be a Crypton that does the job, and Faceless Void also taken out by the right clicks of Comfort, with the Death Prophet helping out. Trapness dead without buyback. Faceless Void dead without buyback. Comfort on the high ground with all the gold and money and farm and experience and items in the world. And this Medusa might just be doing it. Oh my goodness. Why did they go for that fight, Blade? Why couldn't they just sack the tier 2?
I am not sure. But what's done is done. It's gonna be 50 seconds without the Void. He doesn't have buyback. He is gonna have Chrono when he comes back. At that point, they may have already lost at least one set of racks. They could potentially even go for 2. Do they want to? Death Prophet is bottom.
Do want to. If he forces it. I mean, what are they afraid of? Is conceivably at this point, how do they kill Comfort? Level 26 on this hero. You have the Cold-Blooded thanks to the Dagenham shot. You still have backup of Nightmare dodges, of Coco Rum to beef you up. You still have this DP ready, willing, and able to jump in, not just with the Shivas to make sure that enemies are focusing her, not you, but the Solar Crest as well to apply onto this Medusa, make her even stronger. She's also sitting here with the Pally Sword. So much regen, so much lifesteal. Team Magnus, 5 minutes ago, okay, maybe a bit more, but not long ago, they were winning this game handedly. And now, they've been double racks. The game might end. There's gonna be a Chrono, comes out onto 2. It's the DP and the Medusa, and they kill the DP first and foremost. Ghosts are down on her, and now they want Comfort. Do they find the kill? No, they don't. The Medusa's just way too damn strong. You mentioned it, that even inside the bubble, she no longer can die. And Comfort will demonstrate it. And that is gonna be the game. Steel Boko with a little bit of the PM to close this one out. And they get the mega creeps. Felt with this Medusa, their faith rewarded, and Comfort 3 games in a row shows his team that they can put their faith in him. Couldn't close it out in game 2, but they're here right now. Wingblade prepared to close it out for game 3. Kunka gets jumped on right now. Nightmare dodge to save him. Medusa's back, so they won't be able to kill a title win. Actually drags the Faceless Void towards the Medusa. Out for the count without buyback, followed in by the Tusk. That's it. There has to be no other options. Mark will make one last play, but he knows there's no way to do this. It is done. It is over. GG, well played is called. Team Magnus give up the ghost, and Felt get themselves the game 3 victory. Put themselves with their first win of the DPC. Their road to the upper division might start here, but my goodness, what a series. It must feel so good to come away with the victory.